strength to your hair with Mega Growth Leave-In Strengthener. It's infused with wonder oils and conditioning proteins so you can say goodbye to hair breakage. Wow! Mega Growth Leave-In Strengthener.
Introducing Mega Growth Hair and Scalp Food, your daily nourishment to revitalize hair and prevent breakage.
Trusted through time, gentle on skin, rich in care. Wrap your whole family in a long-lasting embrace. Our sensory range transforms your daily self-care into sensorial delight. Scent, softness, serenity. Choose your beautiful your way. Our men's range is built to elevate your grooming routine. Cooling and refreshing. Elevate your game. No shortcuts. Imperial Leather. Long-lasting luxury for you. A new day dawns. And with it come new opportunities. And behind it all is the bold, strong start you need with the rich, smooth taste of Nescafe Creamy White. Made with hand-selected coffee beans, perfectly balanced with creamer and sugar. This is a cup of Kujituma.
Hii maisha ni zaidi ya madakika pamoja. Ni ule upendo ndani ya kila tunachofanya. Kila msaada, kila ndoto ya kesho inayotuunganisha. Uhusiano si kuzungumza tu. Ni kuunganisha mapenzi na matumaini kwa kila hatua tunayochukua pamoja. Kila hatua, hata ndogo, ni muhimu. Kila mwanzo mpya, uhusiano ndio mwanga wetu. Unatufunza kujaribu, unatufanya tukue na kutusukuma kuwa na ndoto kubwa kuliko jana. Uhusiano hubadilisha maisha, si tu kutukaribisha, lakini kutufanya tuwe pamoja. Ndoto hutupeleka mbali, uhusiano huturudisha nyumbani. Maisha poa ni digital. Tutatimiza ndoto zetu.
A comfortable diaper can make a significant difference in your baby's happiness. Choose diapers that are soft to the touch and have stretchy sides to provide a snug but gentle fit.
New Soft Care Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long.
Soft Care. Protect your leap.
Introducing Wigo, your trusted ride. The ride with the most reliable, verified, efficient and transparent drivers. With fabulous cashback incentives for passengers, each trip on Wigo feels like an upgrade. Download Wigo from Play Store or App Store or SMS Wigo to 20425 and ride with confidence. Wigo, let's go!
Looks like the surgeon.
Oga Harry is old enough. He's a full-grown man, so he knows the kind of wife he wants.
With features like Loop Goals and Invest for savings, quick loans and overdrafts, Loop Flex for buying now and paying later, all in one place. Get your own Loop Squad today and simplify your life. Loop it.
Y seguiste avanzando por todo mi cuerpo y no dejas de irme. aquí sigo pensándote.
I don't want to be a third wheel to such a lovely couple, huh?
Come on, Dad. You're not. But it is time for me to take this very lovely woman to the restaurant.
Thank you, Damian, but...
And we're also going... dancing.
Oh.
We haven't done that in a while. I know she loves it.
All right, then. But let me go change first before we go.
What? No. You already look lovely like that. We even match, see? Okay, as you wish.
I'll be quick.
Helena's a really good girl, although I think that you should think a little bit about it.
Oh, hey, what a couple of handsome men. You look like you could be your dad's twin brother. Your mother must be very proud that you two are reunited, right? Fine, I'll go.
Can you see me from high above? Or are you watching me from hell? Now, don't judge me. I simply did what any sister would do. This way, I'm going to earn Aurora's trust once again. Pintas, pintas, pintas. I'm going to call the cops on you. Hello?
I'm only calling to let you know that I am right outside your office. I just felt like saying hello to your little sister.
Lavendar Bar.
Bring us a bottle of Sauvignon Blanc.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I'm distracted, but I'm still feeling uncomfortable about what I said about Angel.
Helena, you can talk to me about anything, so don't worry about it. We may be apart, but our affection and our friendship remain intact. Although, I have to admit that you look spectacular today.
Thank you.
You look gorgeous.
But I still wonder if what you really feel for me is love. Have you ever wondered if you're just used to it?
Now look, a while back in our relationship, I wondered the same. I went through exactly what you're going through now. Back then, I found myself asking whether you could ever truly be the woman of my life. The answer came to me right away.
And when was that? When did you have those doubts?
I'd rather not talk about it right now. I think the important thing now is how you are and how you feel. And let's have a toast. A toast to finding the correct path in life. I feel like we've restored our friendship. I feel we're better friends now than before, and I'm glad.
Don't worry so much about it. It would be best to wait for the results like the doctor said.
But she was very clear. Those tests aren't given to every patient. Only the ones who might have...
No, don't even say that.
Please, don't tell anyone.
No, of course I won't say anything. I'll be right here by your side, Angel, if there's anything you need.
Thank you, Brianna. You're the best. It's cool because you helped me out by staying to eat with my folks. That bruise from the motorcycle hit is fine now. I won't wait another day. I'll go back to work tomorrow. I'll need to save money, and I paid half my tuition, but there's still a lot more that I need to pay back.
I can lend you some money if you want.
No, I thank you with all my heart. I want to work very hard so I won't have to borrow money from anyone.
Your mom is going to be fine.
Son, the neighbors are all gathered now. Try not to make too much noise. Your mom is trying to rest. Aurora's Quest.
Zenka has been funding dreams for over 10 million Kenyans. Visit Play Store or App Store, download the Zenka app and borrow up to 200,000 Kenya shillings. Zenka, smart loans for smart people.
Are you ready to shape your child's future? ACK St. Mark's Church Westlands invites you to the International Education, Career and Mentorship Fair on 1st and 2nd August from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at ACK St. Mark's Church Westlands and Westlands Primary School grounds. With over 4,000 students expected to attend from across the country, this event will offer mentorship, career guidance, and educational opportunities both locally and abroad. Call us on 0727 582 688 or email at stmarkseducationfair@gmail.com.
Have you made plans for the August school holidays yet? Looking for the perfect family getaway to relax, unwind, and explore? Look no further. View Travel has you sorted with exciting international deals for the whole family. Fly off to Cape Town from just $1,190 per person sharing for 4 nights with return flights, hotel transfers, a full Cape Town city tour, half-day Winelands tour, and half-day Cape Point tour. Or unwind in Zanzibar from $1,259. Spend 4 magical nights enjoying the Spice Island tour, swimming with sea turtles at Baraka Aquarium, and sailing to Nemba Island. All with return flights and hotel accommodation included. Book now and pay later with Lipa Pole Pole. Visit viewtravel.com or WhatsApp 0703 254 254 today. View Travel. Dream, explore, discover.
With a spark. For over 60 years, we've kept our promise. From one generation to the next, from quiet beginnings to soaring dreams, we have been Africa's friend and partner. Because when you make a promise, Britam is here to help you see it through. Britam, 60 years of safeguarding Africa's dreams and aspirations.
New Pepsodent Herbal, introducing a unique combination of natural ingredients with herbal extracts, salt and mint in an antibacterial formula for fresh breath, strong teeth and healthy gums that protects you and your family. Pepsodent Herbal, every smile matters.
Checking these guys on their Uber borders. Wanna claim they ride smoother. People are getting soft around here. What's wrong with a few swabs and cuffs? Wait. Okay. It's just one mirror. There's another one.
Next time, skip the swabs and calves. Uber Boda, everything Uber, now on 2 wheels.
If I dream about it, Zenka will fund it. Whatever you're aspiring for, Zenka will fund it. Since 2018, Zenka has been funding dreams for over 10 million Kenyans. Join this community of dreamers. Visit Play Store or App Store, download the Zenka app and borrow up to 200,000 Kenya shillings to actualize your dreams. One loan, a lifetime of possibilities. Zenka, smart loans for smart people.
Nafuka watariketi nyumbani. Tuko na aina nyingi. Fireproof. Hata hizi kama mpya. Yoyote tuko nayo hata
50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50. 50
Introducing Duracoat Aquatec Tension, Kenya's fast tintable waterproof in the paint.
Quest. Ada?
Yes, sir?
Do you know where the lady of the house is? She's not in her room. Are you sure she didn't leave?
No, sir, she didn't.
And Mr. Fabricio?
He's in his bedroom.
Oh, thank you. Good.
I feel much more at peace, knowing that we are now, as you said, better friends than we were before.
May I give you a hug?
Oh, Damian.
What?
No, because...
Just as friends. I won't do anything you don't want, okay? I just wanted to have you close, just like this. And to tell you, Helena, that no matter what happens, no matter what, I will never stop loving you.
Hey, come on, buddy. That's the third time you peeked through the door. Come on, spill it already. All right, sit down.
All right. But don't tell anyone.
Gosh, you're acting more and more like Cassandra. All blah, 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 but no gossip. Now tell me.
Pinky promise.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
Pinky promise.
You better swear. Yeah, it's better if you swear.
Fine, I swear.
And you have to kneel down. Aquiles, amor dos amantes. Kneel down like a knight of the square table. Go ahead. Kneel like a dog.
Glorio Gregorio Gonzalez, you've never used my full name before and certainly never told me to kneel.
But you know that you're the male version of Cassandra. If you don't do it my way, I won't tell you anything. Come on now. Have no fear. Go.
You're going too far.
Brother of mine, Luis Alberto, it turns out he's in love.
Oh, Glorio, you made me kneel down for that? For real?
But he's not in love with just any woman. He's in love with our boss.
What?
Yes, with the witch. The Jezebel Campero.
No, we can't allow that to happen.
No.
We have to stop him.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bother you.
No.
Have you seen Patricia?
No, she probably left hers in the garden.
All right. I'll wait for her to return. At least I'll have some peace in the house for the meantime. How did it go with Damian?
Fine, very well.
Oh, we did?
Yes. Damian went out with Helena. I think they went to have some dinner and then they'll go dancing. I'm glad those kids love each other. Well, why don't we go join them and have a drink together?
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to spend time with Helena and I need to be with Damian.
Yes, I guess you're right. My friend, I want you to know I told Aurora that Jezebel was in love with me.
I always knew it. But I used to think she was the woman of my life. And look, she was desiring my best friend all along.
Why was everything so difficult? I mean, we were very young and I was so insecure.
We were all very immature back then.
I also told Aurora that when I was about to leave and go to the church on the day when we were getting married, a man called me and told me that Gabriel was his son.
Look, I'd rather you tell me downstairs.
All right,
let's come on, let's go.
Okay.
I have to tell you that.
Yeah?
I didn't know about it.
Oh, well.
Oh, yes, I'm completely unaware.
I think you better take me home now.
What are you saying? Helena, we're going dancing. Look, I promise, in spite of your charm, I won't go near you again. If you don't want me to. There. Let's go, just for a while.
Okay, but only for a while.
All right. Would you mind if I message Brianna for her to meet us there? I promise you, we'll have a good time.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for your help.
El suspiro que...
Fugitives seeking justice.
Venus unveils confidence that captivates with 5 times more hydration. Venus, inspired by nature, perfected by science.
Ni Mungu tu. Mungu amefanya, ni Mungu. Ni Mungu. Ni Mungu ametenda, ni Mungu. Sina cha kujivuna. Ni Mungu amefanya, ni Mungu.
Kupata wimbo huu kama sikiza tuni yako, bonyeza *860*415#. Kumbuka, Skiza na Citizen ni nyumbani kwa wasanii wote.
Are you ready to shape your child's future? ACK St. Mark's Church Westlands invites you to the International Education Career and Mentorship Fair on 1st and 2nd August from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at ACK St. Mark's Church Westlands and Westlands Primary School grounds. With over 4,000 students expected to attend from across the country, this event will offer mentorship, career guidance, and educational opportunities both locally and abroad. Call us on 0727-582-688 or email at stmarkseducationfair@gmail.com.
Ngozi yako ina glow. Nilijipaka mafuta leo asubuhi nikikam, lakini skin yangu ishaparara and it looks so dull. Sis, see, it's the new Nice and Lovely Lemon Extract Body Lotion. Hiyo ndio secret yangu to a moisturized and bright skin. Usimix.
New Nice and Lovely Lemon Lotion, enriched with vitamin C and sunflower seed oil for 48-hour nourishing glow and brighter skin. Try Nice and Lovely Lemon Lotion today.
Diapers come in various sizes and are designed to fit babies at different stages of growth. It's crucial to choose a diaper size that matches your baby's weight and age.
New Soft Care Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long.
Soft Care. Protect your leap.
Welcome to Co-op Bank Naivasha Horticultural Fair. Join industry experts, growers and suppliers from across the region for 2 days of networking and business opportunities. Mark your calendar, Friday the 19th and Saturday the 20th of September 2025 at the Naivasha Sports Club grounds. To book your exhibition space, call us through the numbers on the screen or email us. Co-op Bank Naivasha Horticultural Fair, where innovation meets growth.
Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour. Enjoy your winner vegetable oil 5 liters at 1,099 shillings. Mlogo Gold basmati rice 5 kg at 999 shillings. Farmers beef sausages 1 kg at 542 shillings. And LG fridge 234 liters at 64,995 shillings. Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.
Looks like the surgeon.
Oga Harry is old enough. He's a full-grown man, so he knows the kind of wife he wants.
With features like Loop Goals and Invest for savings, quick loans and overdrafts, Loop Flex for buying now and paying later, all in one place. Get your own Loop Squad today and simplify your life. Loop it.
or in whole, I sentenced each accused person to 35 years imprisonment, and they have 14 days right of appeal.
Held to account, 2 police officers handed a 35-year jail term each for killing a civilian in 2020 and throwing his body in Rivanzoya. Fresh details emerge on how 40-year-old Gilbert Kinyua was killed inside a ward at Kenyatta National Hospital.
Way forward is very simple. If Mishra and Medihill is really culprits, we carry the cross.
Malicious and premeditated. Medihill Hospital dismisses damning report linking the hospital and founder to organ trafficking.
My presence here today is nothing short of a miracle. And I want to begin by thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the gift of life.
It was a miracle. Stephen Munyaho returns to Kenya after 14 years on death row in Saudi Arabia.
Just 100? She doesn't want to get any money.
You lose more money than that every Thursday playing cards over there.
We still have to talk about that.
All right. If Mrs. Maru will allow me, I want to talk about what happened with the motorcycle.
Yes, hear it about that. Do so what?
Hey, listen, neighbors, pay attention. We have to be responsible and talk to all the youths who have motorcycles or motor scooters. That was not a trivial accident.
Oh, no.
Especially because tomorrow is a feast of St. Jude.
Well,
we don't want another accident to happen.
I say motorcycles here in our neighborhood should be completely banned from roaming our streets.
Listen. This is not about banning motorcycles. It's about making them respect the speed limit.
Yes. And also for people to always use the pedestrian lanes.
Yes, I agree.
Right.
I agree with Mr.
Angel, come on, don't worry so much. Your mother will notice.
Strengthen your faith and act as you always have, and you will see that things will gradually fall into place.
That's
I'm so worried about that accident. I'm not sure either.
Oh, yeah.
It was a good thing.
Look at what my future brother-in-law said.
Those motorcycles could have hit Rolas. Oh, the poor boy.
They're celebrating because he and Helena could possibly get back together.
I feel so bad for not having told you then that Jezebel was in love with me. But, you know, I've had enough of keeping secrets.
Thank you. Do you think that man who called you to tell you he was Aurora's lover was just some ploy by Jezebel?
Oh, no, my friend, no. But in that moment, I didn't think what I think now.
Look, I don't have any proof, but I would swear it was Jezebel.
I think it could have been their father, Mr. Miguel, you know. He wanted Aurora and I to be married, but then after that, he suddenly changed.
Yeah, I think he was very bitter about what happened to Aurora. From one day to the next, he became a cruel kind of man who was so jaded and full of hate.
Yes. You know what? You're right. Let's go to the bar. We can talk to the kids there.
Fine. I'll go put on my shoes. You don't want me to go like this, do you?
No, of course not. Go change your clothes too, all right?
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. You look fine. You look fine.
Thank you, my friend.
Hello? Oh, that's perfect. I'll see you in your office tomorrow at 9. One question. So she is an investigator, right? Okay, thank you.
Patricia, what we did is not right.
Come on, we're a couple of free adults. I don't get why you feel so bad.
Antonio is my best friend, and I'm betraying his trust and hospitality.
You know, we can discuss that later. Oh yeah, tell me. How is it that Jezebel was in love with Antonio? Who is Gabriel? And who's the man who called Antonio when he was about to marry Aurora?
That's a lot of questions and I don't have the answers. As for what just happened between us, I think it better not happen again.
So typical of all men. They just want instant satisfaction and nothing more.
Patricia, The two of us are not a couple. We're only two people who agreed to have a pleasant time together, that's all.
You're only interested in my body.
Hey, shh. We'll talk about that later, and don't come out until after Antonio and I leave.
Tell me, Aurora, are you really going to let Antonio search for your son on his own?
Yes, Julio Cesar.
Aurora!
Our bodies are sustained by nature's endless gifts. From the food we eat to the air we breathe, the vitamins and minerals strengthen us, helping us glow and thrive. Introducing Vitamin N for nature. Give your skin a daily dose of Vitamin N. Experience Amara Skincare. Packed with Vitamin N. Amara. Embrace nature.
Acne-prone skin, marks? Stop. Try new Garnier Charcoal Serum with 4% AHA, BHA and charcoal. The first black serum with no residue. Clinically proven to reduce pimples and acne marks. Acne-prone skin, soap is not enough. Try Pure Active, the #1 anti-pimple cleanser with salicylic acid and charcoal. Proven to reduce pimple-causing germs by up to 99.5%. 3 actions: wash, scrub, mask. For pure and clear skin. Garnier Pure Active 3-in-1 Charcoal. By Garnier, naturally.
Mwezi huu wa Agosti, kitu cha kipekee kinakuja Kitengela. Kuanzia Ijumaa tarehe 1 hadi Jumapili tarehe 3 Agosti, saa 9 alasiri, fika katika uwanja wa Kitengela kwa ajili ya tamasha la Urafiki pamoja na Dr. Peter Youngren. Kiingilio ni bure bilashi na watu wa dini zote mmekaribishwa. Usikose tamasha la Urafiki.
There's a kind of bank assurance intermediary that really allows you to relax because you know you'll be good. That's Coop Bank Assurance Intermediary for you. Get covered real good through Coop Bank Assurance Intermediary.
For reactions like this, you need something special. That one extra touch that makes everybody go wow. For meals with friends and family, make it memorable with Kiko Man.
Ushaitapa shopping while getting entertained? Well, form ndio hiyo. M-Pesa Sokoni Festival. Mali safi. Bei ya jioni on smartphones, household goods, electronics, beauty and fashion, food and drinks, plus much more. Tokea M-Pesa Sokoni Festival, enjoy bei ya jioni from your favorite biasharas as you vibe to great music from DJs na artists wazito. Tunaingia Kisumu Dala Saturday 2nd August 2025. Tupatane pale Jomo Kenyatta International Stadium aka Mambo Leo Stadium. Entry ni free, we kuja na vibes. M-Pesa Sokoni Festival. Mali safi, bei ya jioni.
Diapers come in various sizes. and are designed to fit babies at different stages of growth. It's crucial to choose a diaper size that matches your baby's weight and age.
New Soft Care Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long.
Soft Care. Protect your leap.
So our government tells us that we need to age the cheese for at least 60 days.
I'm so glad you're here with me.
Hey, where are you going? What's
Julio
up?
Cesar.
What happened? Talk to me.
Did you see that man?
What man?
That man, he just shouted my name. I don't even know him. He said Aurora.
Yes, I did hear him, but I didn't see anyone. Maybe he's one of the workers that you know, or maybe someone who knows you.
No, that man doesn't belong here.
Jezebel Campero calling.
Why aren't you answering it? Maybe she's calling you to talk about the statement she made.
Aurora, sister, thank you for taking my call. Look at where I am.
I'm here visiting Dad's gravesite. What happened, Jezebel? I know that you are very angry at me right now, but I just wanted to tell you that I gave my statement
And my police report was registered.
Thank you.
And I swear
that I plan to help you in every way that I can. I've given it a lot of thought, and I want to be a part of your association.
That's if you let me, of course. And I swear that I will bring everything that I can into it.
My money, and I will give my life so that you will find everything that Dad had taken away from you.
Jezebel, this isn't a good moment to talk
about this. Right now, there was this very strange man. He was right outside the
corporate office and he called out my name.
We didn't get a good look at him.
I've told you many times that you should hire a bodyguard. It was probably just one of the vagrants around there who had heard your name.
No, I don't think so. Let's speak later, Jezebel. You know, when I heard him, I just felt horrible. It was a terrible feeling. I don't know, but something in his voice made my blood run cold. What if he's the one sending Antonia those anonymous letters?
Why don't we check to see if we were able to catch him on our security cameras? Let's go.
Yes.
Come on, let's go.
Look, I heard everything you said on TV. I mean, why didn't you just tell them that you knew me? Where I lived and then send the police after me?
Look, don't be stupid. I did that to prevent
suspicion. Nobody knows who you are, and there's no reason they'll find out. But let me tell you, I think what you did was very stupid. How could you go to our corporate office? Aurora told me she saw you, Pintas.
I know that Aurora didn't see me. I only gave her a little taste, you know, to illustrate to you, Jezebel, that you cannot just toy around with me like that. So think twice about the things you testify about. I can be very dangerous for you. If I fall, I'm taking you down with me, pretty one.
You stupid, worthless thug. Who do you think you are, thinking you can threaten me?
Jess, I already made your restaurant reservation. I've got someone who wants to interview you, and your return flight is also booked. And is that a new cell phone?
None of your business. Why do I have to explain anything to you? You're useless. Get back to the car and wait for me there.
What about the umbrella?
Oh, can't you see that there's this huge tree? Leave me and take the umbrella with you.
Helena is with that.
I'll message him and ask him to go.
I don't think so.
I'm with Angel. What do you think? Shall we go? Come on, let's just go for a while so that you can take your mind off of things.
No, thank you. I'm not in the mood. I don't have the time, nor do I have the money.
All right, no problem. But you are going to invite me to the procession, right?
Of course. Let me walk you to your car, okay?
How about you? Do you think this? Well, yeah, I think it will. I'm not sure this is the right thing to do.
Tú y yo somos de almas tan iguales que lograron encontrarse, escribiendo un nuevo verso. Y es que somos auroras en el cielo, iluminando los momentos.
Transform your kitchen and home with a wide range of colorful, easy to clean and durable plasticware from Rock Industries. Rock Industries Plasticware, because your home deserves the best. Available in a supermarket near you.
Introducing Duracoat Aquatec Ring Shield, Kenya's fast tintable waterproofing paint.
Now introducing Smarter Weekly 300 and 500 bob. Browse, chat, call, and rudishiwa 100% transaction fee na Airtel Money. Dial *544# or use My Airtel app. Ever-growing network, na bado tuna grow. Asanteni wa Kenya.
What can a new beginning do? A new beginning can brighten someone's day. Let us start a new beginning with you. Premier Bank. New beginnings.
Morana Care Homes offer professional and compassionate care for the elderly, patients on palliative care, and those needing support with daily living. We provide long-term stays, short-term respite, and daycare services. Residents enjoy engaging activities like chair yoga, storytelling, crocheting, and more. Call 0116-006-699 for more information or visit us at Komboni Crescent, Karen, Nairobi. Morana Care Homes, gentle hands, caring hearts. Crispy bacon and egg breakfast wrap. Fry bacon till crispy. Scramble eggs in same pan. Layer bacon, egg, cheese and tomato in a wrap. Fold, toast in a pan and serve.
Farmer's Choice has always been there, giving you trusted, wholesome nutrition for generations. Farmer's Choice, timeless joy.
Strength to your hair with Mega Growth Leave-In Strengthener. It's infused with wonder oils and conditioning proteins so you can say goodbye to hair breakage. Wow! Mega Growth Leave-In Strengthener.
Introducing Mega Growth Hair and Scalp Food, your daily nourishment to revitalize hair and prevent breakage.
Asante, Baba, asante. Asante, asante.
Kupata huu wimbo wangu kama sikiza tune yako, bonyeza *811*340#. Kumbuka, Sikiza na Citizen ndio nyumbani kwa wasanii wote.
Experience
Experience Swiss-based education in the heart of Nairobi. With practical hands-on skills, we prepare you for the dynamic world of culinary arts and patisserie or international hospitality management. Travel the world and gain global work experience through our international placement network as you shape your career as the next global future leader in hospitality. Welcome to the Boma International Hospitality College. August and September intake ongoing.
Moisture in your skin helps it repair itself constantly. Without the right balance of moisture, chances of skin problems can occur. Vaseline locks in moisture to give your skin a natural glow and protection. Use Vaseline because it is the first step to maintaining natural, healthy-looking skin.
We know times are tough, so save money by buying airtime from M-Pesa to any network with zero transaction fees. Dial *487*2# and get your airtime PAP with zero transaction costs.
It's the last Tuesday of the month of July 2025 on The Explainer tonight.
Or in whole, I sentenced each accused person to 35 years imprisonment, and they have 14 days right of appeal.
Held to account, 2 police officers handed a 35-year jail term each for killing a civilian in 2020 and throwing his body in River Nzoia. Fresh details emerge on how 40-year-old Gilbert Kinyua was killed inside a ward at Kenyatta National Hospital.
Way forward is very simple. If Mishra and Medihill is really culprits, we carry the cross.
Malicious and premeditated. Medihill Hospital dismisses damning report linking the hospital and founder to organ trafficking.
My presence here today is nothing short of a miracle. And I want to begin by thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the gift of life.
It was a miracle. Stephen Munyaho returns to Kenya after 14 years on death row in Saudi Arabia. All of those stories, plus tonight our big conversation, our big interview is with the president of the Law Society of Kenya, Faith Odhiambo. Much to talk about the state of the rule of law and order in the country. Much has happened since last year, leading up to this year. Abductions continue, the state of court orders. There is much to talk about with the president of the Law Society of Kenya. She will be live here on The Explainer tonight. Any questions you have at Citizen TV Kenya, and the hashtag is The Explainer. Also the number 22422. On our conversation with Faith Odhiambo, president of the Law Society of Kenya, on The Explainer, which begins right now.
Live from Citizen TV, this is The Explainer with Yvonne Okwara.
That's right, Njoki Shege is our sign language interpreter tonight. 2 police officers have each been sentenced to 35 years in jail for the murder of a man in their custody. Emmanuel Wafula and Hodwin Sirengo were found guilty by the Eldoret High Court of the torture and murder of Dennis Lusava in a police cell in 2020. The prosecution had lined up 21 witnesses in the case, detailing the harrowing details of torture in police cells that led to the death of the victim, who had initially been arrested for failure to wear a mask during the COVID-19 pandemic that marked the year. Laura Otieno reports on the landmark ruling that is shining a ray of hope on the quest for justice for victims of police brutality.
The 5-year quest for justice for family members of 31-year-old Dennis Lovasa was concluded on Tuesday when the Eldoret High Court sentenced 2 police officers to 35 years in jail each. Dennis, who was arrested on the 7th of October 2020 for failing to wear a face mask, disappeared from the Mbururu police post in Kakamega County and his body found later in River Nzoia. Referencing evidence fronted by the prosecution, the court found Emmanuel Wafula and Hodwin Sirengo to have grossly violated human rights, as a post-mortem report showed that the father of 2 had died from blunt force trauma.
Did we have the circumstance that this death could be avoided? The answer is yes. Our brothers had all what it takes to secure the life of the deceased in this matter. But unfortunately, that was never to be, and then we found ourselves in this litigation. All in all, I sentenced each accused person to 35 years imprisonment.
Delivering the sentence, Justice Nyakundi further made reference to the Bible, underscoring the right to life and the untimely death of 31-year-old Dennis Lovasa, with evidence showing he was handcuffed to a window and beaten to his death.
Every human being has to be allowed to number his days, or a days are right. And the numbering those days are right. For the one who gave breath, gave the first life to the first man, he said every human being has to number his days, or a days are right, to 70. My findings are that the aggravating factors in this matter outweigh any metrics of mitigation.
The family of the deceased expressed appreciation to the justice system, terming it a temporary relief to the gaping wound of not only losing their son, but the sole breadwinner of the family.
Nimshukuru sana na wale wako saa hii masikari mwenye iko hapa, kama unajua tu na askari, chunga binadamu wenzako, baada kuchukua mwenzako unaua.
The decision by Justice Nyakundi today marks a landmark judgment in the fight against impunity that is perpetrated by members of the National Police Service.
The conviction of the 2 now casts a hope for justice for victims of police brutality, with tens of families having recorded statements with IPOA. Lusava's family received legal aid from the International Justice Mission in the case against the 2 officers. Emmanuel Wafula and Hodwin Sirengo were handed a 14-day window to appeal the court's decision. Laura Otieno, Citizen TV.
A photojournalist who captured the police officer accused of shooting protester Rex Masai has testified in court. He told the court how he trailed and documented police constable Isaiah Murangiri over 2 days, including on the 18th of June last year, despite Murangiri claiming that he was off duty. His photos, now key court evidence, show a man in plainclothes firing tear gas, arresting journalists and protesters, and wearing a bracelet bearing his name. Willie Lusige reports.
A critical witness has emerged in the case over Rex Masai's killing, a photojournalist who says he captured the officer in action before and on the day Rex was shot.
Just outside the Supreme Court.
The court heard that police constable Isaiah Ndumba Murangiri was trailed and photographed for 2 days from June 18th, despite Murangiri claiming he wasn't on duty.
18th I was not on duty. You are not on duty.
therefore there is no way he could have been armed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Testifying under protection from a secret location, the journalist said Murangiri was in plain clothes on 18th June, hurling tear gas and arresting journalists and protesters, prompting him to start documenting his actions.
The same state officer, I captured him as they were making arrests of some journalists who had been arrested as they were carrying out their duty.
The witness says his images place Murangiri at multiple protest scenes, visibly armed, challenging his off-duty claim.
As he was getting into the car, he shot tear gas to the direction where the journalists were.
The photos also reveal a distinct mark on the officer's face, which Murangiri also denies.
Touch towards, yes, just a little higher. Good. Just a little higher, there. Is there anything familiar on your face that you know as a mark on your face?
None, Your Honor.
On his left cheek, yes, below his ear, and he has a black spot, which appears near the kind of a birthmark.
The images also show a bracelet on his wrist inscribed with the name Aizo, a short form of Isaac.
And Aizo is Isaac.
More witnesses are expected to testify on August 1st and 8th when the hearings resume. With 8 witnesses remaining to testify into the Rex murder inquest, the family is still hopeful that finally it will get justice. Willie Lusige, Citizen TV at the Milimani Law Courts in Nairobi.
The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions is on the spot for failing to act on recommendations by the DCI to charge Kennedy Kalombotole as a prime suspect in the murder of Gilbert Kinyua Muthoni at the Kenyatta National Hospital that occurred on the night of the 6th of February 2025. It has emerged that the DCI had already concluded through a detailed investigation that Kalombotole was responsible for the murder and that a report was submitted to the ODPP on the 30th of June 2025. However, weeks went by without any arrest or prosecution until another murder was reported at the same hospital just 17 days after the report was released, raising serious concerns over prosecutorial inaction and a potentially preventable second death. Melita Olatenges reports.
A chilling investigation report dated June 30th, 2025 has surfaced detailing how 40-year-old Gilbert Kinyua was murdered in his hospital bed on the night of February 6th. The report pieces together that fateful night through testimony from the nurse on duty, Sharon Chepchieng, as well as statements from the victim's family, hospital security, doctors and investigators. At the heart of the report is one conclusion, that Gilbert's roommate Kennedy Kalombotole should be charged with murder based on the weight of evidence, placing him at the center of the brutal killing. Although none of the 12 witness statements directly place the suspect at the moment of the murder, a key testimony came from nurse Sharon Chepchieng, who was on duty that night. She reported administering medication to both the deceased, Gilbert Kinyua, and his roommate Kennedy Kalombotole. But what followed was the chilling reality of murder at the country's top referral hospital. During the scene documentation conducted at the scene of crime, DCI investigators observed a trail of blood drops on the floor, extending from the deceased bed toward the adjacent bed occupied by Kennedy Kalombotole, who was the roommate of the deceased, Gilbert Kinyua Muthoni. Despite the DCI submitting its recommendations to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions on June 30th, no action was taken against the suspect. 17 days later, another murder was reported. The deceased Edward Mainge Ndegwa killed in the same fashion as Gilbert Kinyua, his throat slit in a manner that mirrored the earlier killing. The striking similarities raising chilling questions about a possible pattern and whether the second death could have been prevented. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions is on the spot for not acting on the report, which would have likely averted the second murder at KNH. Kalombotole has since been arraigned but declined to speak during his first appearance, despite police insisting he is mentally fit and verbally capable. The High Court has now ordered a mental assessment at Mbagathi Hospital. Until that is complete, Kalombotole will be held at Nairobi Remand Prison. Justice Kavedza further directed that he receive special diabetic care, including supervised insulin administration, and explicitly prohibited him from handling needles. Melita Oletenges, Citizen TV.
The Medihill Group of Hospitals has dismissed recommendations by the Investigative Committee on Tissue and Organ Transplant Services to investigate and prosecute its chairman, Dr. Swarup Mishra, and 3 others over alleged organ trafficking. The committee's report flagged possible falsified signatures and suspected coercion in kidney transplant procedures at the facility. Claims Dr. Mishra has dismissed as malicious and false. Gatete Njoroge reports.
A week after Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale received a damning report on organ trafficking, triggered by chilling testimonies from alleged victims in Eldoret,
There is no guideline for package.
the Medihill Group of Hospitals is fighting back. The facility, named in the findings as allegedly complicit in the illegal trade, has dismissed the committee's recommendations, which call for fresh investigations and the possible prosecution of its founder, Dr. Swarup Mishra, alongside 3 others.
Medihill is never involved in any selection of donor, is never involved in any sort of bribery or force to make donors commercialization.
This report does not in any way, it did not in any way find any organ transplant or kidney commercialization, as the report will have attempted to report.
Mishra and his lawyers poked holes in the findings that showed 38% of recipients had an unknown status, pointing to possible gaps in documentation or lack of identification documents in the patient record.
In terms of foreign patients, we had copies of passports without exception, plus affidavits. And so when they say they weren't able to find some details of some of the patients in terms of citizenship or gender, that's completely false.
Either the committee was lazy or they were malicious, because all the answers they needed were in that report. But unfortunately, then it appears they relied on hearsay, on innuendos, to build a report and make conclusions.
The former Keses MP says he is ready to face the law, even as the committee highlights possible interference, including tampering with identification documents, intimidation of whistleblowers, and delays in delivering justice for the complaints raised.
If Mishra and Medihill is really culprit, we carry the cross. And if we are innocent, in the name of God, please give us justice.
We are very aggrieved at the way the committee seems to have approached this thing with a premeditated mind.
The investigative committee has called for a probe into cash payment practices at Medihill Hospital and urged an investigation into KMPDC for possible regulatory failures. Gatete Njoroge, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
The National Police Service Commission and the National Police Service clashed today in Parliament, with the Chief Executive Officer of the Commission, Peter Lele, claiming that the Inspector General of Police, Douglas Kanja, had denied him access to the police payroll records. As Emmanuel Toh reports, it took intervention from the Public Accounts Committee to force the police to hand over the records, allowing the Commission to conduct an audit of police human resources.
Yeah. The moment she hands over, you write back to the committee.
The rift between the National Police Service Commission and the National Police Service escalated on Tuesday as the frosty relations between the two entities took a dramatic turn. NPSC CEO Peter Lele clashed with Inspector General Douglas Kanja over access to the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Database. The Commission accuses the police of undermining its authority as the employer, while the IG remained firm, refusing to yield.
The National Police Service has submitted all personnel records requested by the Commission over the past 3 financial years in a timely and structured manner.
However, the IG's response was quickly rebutted by the Commission.
So have you submitted the payroll?
Yes. As the accounting officer for the police, any information relating to human resource in terms of recruitment, anything, Chair, we submit to the Commission.
CEO, yes. Are you able to access the payroll?
For the issues requested in this letter and this audit query, I have not been presented with the documents I asked.
The back and forth prompted members of the National Assembly's Public Accounts Committee to demand that the police respect their employer.
What is in this payroll that is hidden from the employer? What it means is that on oath, both Kanja and Banis are lying.
You know, the good thing with the truth is that you don't have to remember. Even if you are woken up from your sleep in the middle of the night, you don't have to be recruited, reminded, and what have you.
So we are asking a simple question. Where is the payroll? Who has the payroll? Because the employer must have the payroll and nobody else. Yeah. Can she answer as that question? That the National Police Service hands over. It's not to give access. There's a difference, by the way. There is a difference between access and being given.
The committee finally compelled the IG to hand over the documents, allowing the commission to conduct an audit of the police database.
We want you, especially the accounting officer, to hand over all the HR function, especially the payroll. You hand over. You don't give the commission the access, but you hand over.
We are open to that. They can be able to get it in time.
Emmanuel Tor, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Tonight, Stephen Munyaho, the Kenyan man previously on death row in Saudi Arabia, is back in the country and reunited with his family. After 14 harrowing years on death row in Saudi Arabia, Stephen Munyaho has finally touched down in Nairobi Monday midday. His journey marked by an accidental death, a mother's tireless fight, and an incredible outpouring of generosity culminated in an emotional reunion. Brenda Wanga reports.
The weight of a family's 14 years long wait was almost palpable at the international arrivals at the JKIA. An anxious anticipation to reunite with their kin, whose very arrival back home has taken everything from this family. And so they waited with bated breath. And a joyous song to welcome home a man they had nearly lost hope of seeing, but one that they collectively fought so hard to bring home. 51-year-old Steve Munyaha Abdul Karim is finally home. For 14 agonizing years, this family and community have held on to hope and prayers that their son, facing death by beheading, would make it back home to them. Their relief at seeing him, touching him, and talking to him almost too much for some of them to bear.
I'm glad to be back home in Kenya. My presence here today is nothing short of a miracle. And I want to begin by thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the gift of life.
A miracle that has taken years, and his mother's unwavering love, faith, and fighting spirit. Dorothy Kweyu launched a campaign last year to help raise the 150 million shillings blood money that will see her son, facing the death sentence in a foreign land, saved from certain death and released.
We used all the capabilities of the state to try to mobilize resources towards the satisfaction of the demanded compensation. In the end, one of our pleas to the Muslim League was successful.
I remember that morning, and I'm so grateful. You opened your door, wiped away my tears, and promised that you would deliver my firstborn, the first fruit of my womb. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Allah, for this wonderful, wonderful gift of life. Thank you for each and every one, and especially my media colleagues. Thank you.
Stephen's redemption came early this month when the Muslim League agreed to pay the money demanded by the aggrieved family. Stephen had been tried, convicted and sentenced to death by beheading for the manslaughter of his former colleague in Saudi Arabia.
Many are the times in our meeting sessions, in our planning sessions, that it looked like a lost cause. But prayer, faith, brotherhood, supporting each other, solidarity, has a way of working wonders.
I want also to thank everyone who prayed for me, encouraged me, and contributed towards my freedom and return home. Some of you, I know, but the vast majority, in your tens of thousands, was simply touched by my misfortune of a total stranger.
For now, the long overdue reunion between Stevo and his family is a reality. He says he's going to rest, find his bearing, and find his place in his family and society at large. But most importantly, embrace the second chance at life that this release and return home now grants him. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.
The ODM party now says it is fully behind the broad-based government arrangement and called to order factions pulling in different directions. The party's Central Committee, chaired by Raila Odinga, resolved to have a technical working team to oversee the implementation of the 10-point agenda contained in the Memorandum of Understanding signed between the party and President William Ruto's UDA. Stephen Leto reports.
After prolonged internal party disagreements over which way on the broad-based government arrangement, the Orange Party's top decision-making organ has called factions to order. Party Secretary General Edwin Sifuna had last week stirred a storm within the party over the support of the broad-based government and MOU with President William Ruto's UDA. But after the Central Committee meeting held today and chaired by Raila Odinga, stated that a consensus was brokered.
That while members arrived here with different viewpoints on many issues within the party and the country, the committee has managed to broker an unbreakable unity of purpose in the party and a single-minded focus on ensuring that ODM continues to be a loyal servant of the people and the country.
In a tense meeting that ran from morning to afternoon, attended by, among others, the deputy party leaders Governor Abdul Swamad Nasir and Senator Godfrey Osotsi, as well as party chairperson and Homa Bay Governor Gladys Wanga, agreed to fully back the MOU between the Orange Party and UDA.
That the party supports the position that has been taken by party leader Honorable Raila Odinga to work with the Kenya Kwanza administration to stabilize the country and create an enabling environment for Kenyans to address their concerns through democratic and constitutional means.
While in Kakamega County last week at the height of the confusion, Odinga told party delegates that ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna was among the team that drafted the MOU with UDA late last year to expedite implementation of the content, the meeting passing a resolution to have a technical team that will oversee the rollout of the now contentious 10-point agenda.
And this is now the position of the party. Yes. That we will be making sure that we put together a team that can ensure that we implement the MOU that we signed with UDA. As Chungwa House prepares for the ODM at 20 Jamboree, it says it will continue calling for an intergenerational national conference to deliberate on issues affecting the country with a major focus on the youth agenda. Stephen Leto, Citizen TV.
Let's take our first break here on The Explainer tonight. Much more to come. We have some more news coming your way, including that interview on the state of law and order in the country. It's been quite the roller coaster over the last 2 years. The president of the Law Society of Kenya, Faith Odhiambo, is here with me to talk about that and more. Law and order, keeping the faith. An interview with LSK President Faith Odhiambo.
Terra Gardens by username. Just 20 minutes from Ngong Town. Get your 8th acre plot for only 699,000 shillings. SMS Ngong to 20321 or call 0725 000 222.
Can you grow your wealth anywhere? Anytime. Without the right partner? Imagine expanding your portfolio with investment opportunities globally, while protecting your wealth and legacy. Standard Chartered's unique global network and deep local insights give you unparalleled expertise anywhere, right now. Now's your time for wealth. Join Priority Banking today.
Great yummy taste, gotta hack it. I spread bread, pate nguvu, gotta pack it. Napaka nyweki design ya mokoro. Blue Panda, Juni natural cocoa. 5 vitamins, una grow plus vitam nani. One by one, tuna flow with the energy. Dance to the beat, feel the adrenaline. Vibes ni polite. Step into the motion. Tuna hack snack na ki blue band choco for your growth.
As a mother, my formula is simple. Happy change, happy child. And that's the Gentle Care promise. Gentle Care slip-ons are designed to move with your little explorer to make sure their dreams are as unstoppable as their days. Gentle Care diaper pants provides all-night protection. These offer leak-proof comfort. They let your little superhero leap, laugh, and play as much as he wants. Introducing Gentle Care diaper pants.
Simiti maisha kwa site. Loop Quick Loan itasaidia kazi iendelee. Open Grow on your Loop app and select Quick Loan to get started. Enjoy loan limits of up to 100,000 Kenya shillings. Why wait? Loop it. Download Loop today.
And we need 2 Royco cubes because iron gives you strength to skuma yourself to be the best you can be.
Try the new Royco Chili Cube for the perfect heat.
This October, View Travel is taking you to the world's biggest trade expo, the Canton Fair in Guangzhou, China, from October 14th to November 9th. Whether you run a thriving business or you're just starting out, this trip gives you direct access to top manufacturers, new products, and market insights. Enjoy a 10-day package from only $2,350, covering return flights, 9 nights accommodation, visa assist, registration to the fair, insurance, bilingual team leader, and a scenic Pearl River cruise. Plus, enjoy a free wholesale market tour in your preferred category. Elevate your business. Visit viewtravel.com or WhatsApp 0703 254 254 and book now. View Travel. Dream, explore, discover.
Si niliwaambia. Halo. Niletee kama kawaida.
Kama sio Kavagara, wacha kiumane.
Hii chapati ni tamu sana.
Omera, sere bila Kavagara, sio sere.
Dukani usitishe unga, itisha Kavagara.
For reactions like this, you need something special. That one extra touch that makes everybody go wow. For meals with friends and family, make it memorable with Kikoman.
I'm all about the oats. In fact, you should try Pillows. It's lighter and healthier.
Babu has been eating the same cereal for the last 40 years.
Philos by Bidco Africa.
Now introducing Smarter Weekly 300 and 500 bob. Browse, chat, call and rudishiwa 100% transaction fee na Airtel Money. Dial *544# or use My Airtel app. Ever-growing network. Na bado tuna grow. Asanteni wa Kenya.
This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come. Let's go! Lights, camera, action. Put your mind on it, live the life until the
Ooh, wase! Iko on! Kila game inamata. Reconnect now. Dial *423#.
Experience Ridge Cabin Resort by Superior Hotels Kenya, just an hour from Nairobi, tucked away in the Serenity Hills of Limuru. Perfect for conference retreats, team building, weddings and family getaways. Our modern meeting spaces and accommodation blend seamlessly with wood and rustic charm. Enjoy activities such as a heated pool, tea picking, nature walks, cycling and boat paddling. Ridge Cabin Resort, where business meets nature and hospitality is redefined.
Introducing Wigo, your trusted ride. The ride with the most reliable, verified, efficient and transparent drivers. With fabulous cashback incentives for passengers, each trip on Wigo feels like an upgrade. Download Wigo from Play Store or App Store or SMS Wigo to 20425 and ride with confidence. Wigo, let's go.
Welcome back. We'll be speaking with the president of the Law Society of Kenya, Faith Odhiambo, in just a moment. But first, let's update you on some other news making headlines. The cabinet has approved the sale of the Kenya Pipeline Company in a move that will see the government reduce its shareholding in the company. Cabinet also approved the recommendations by the Presidential Task Force on Religious Organizations, which seeks to introduce sweeping changes that will see religious organizations register afresh in a self-regulating fashion. Emmanuel Toh reports.
The cabinet dispatch sent to newsrooms Tuesday evening highlighted several landmark decisions by the cabinet as government moves to effect several changes. Among the changes include the green light for the reinstatement of Kenya Pipeline Corporation KPC into the privatization program, which will see the multi-billion shilling corporation partially go into private hands. This will now see a certain percentage of KPC's shares listed at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. According to the cabinet documents, the privatization of KPC will enable the private sector and industry experts to drive growth, efficiency and innovation. KPC, a strategic player in Kenya's energy supply chain, has maintained a strong profitability record and holds significant asset value. However, the cabinet noted that the company has not yet reached its optimum performance and market value, largely due to bureaucratic constraints and public sector inefficiencies. Bringing in private capital and professional expertise, the government says is expected to inject new energy into the company, modernize operations and position KPC as a regional logistics and energy powerhouse. Besides the KPC, the Kenya Literature Bureau, Rivertex East Africa, the National Oil Corporation and the new Kenya Cooperatives Creameries are other entities set to undergo privatization in the near future. The privatization of the Kenyatta International Convention Center was blocked by the court, citing public interest of the entity, with the court saying no meaningful public participation was done before the move. Cabinet also approved the recommendations from the Presidential Task Force on Religious Organizations, which seeks to introduce several changes, including the fresh registration of all religious organizations in Kenya, establishment of a Religious Affairs Commission, and strengthening umbrella faith organizations for coordination. Emmanuel Toh, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
A family from Loitoktok in Kajiado County is in agony and pleading for the release of their 1-year-old son, who is being held at Abian Hospital in Isli. The child was referred to Kenyatta National Hospital, but the ambulance transferring the child from Kajiado diverted them to the private facility, ignoring clear instructions in the referral letter. Now the child is fighting for his life in ICU without parental care, as the hospital has barred the parents from seeing the child until they pay a bill of 3 million shillings. Mary Moki reports.
A mother's worst nightmare. Esther Ulavu sits in a dimly lit motel in Isli, her eyes swollen and voice trembling. What was supposed to be a routine corrective surgery turned into a medical nightmare. Her woes began when the operating surgeon first demanded for 5,000 for him to undertake the surgery.
Nikamwambia daktari, mimi nimetafuta hiyo 5k sijapata, nitafanya aje na siku imefika. Akanambia kama hujapata mtoto hatafanyiwa mpaka upate.
The operating surgeon admits asking for money, saying the request is a normal one.
That was for the catheter. I think we talked with the mother.
Esther says her baby was overdosed with anesthesia and his heart stopped twice. The doctors admitted his brain lacked oxygen for several minutes and he slipped into a coma. The hospital recommended an urgent transfer to Kenyatta National Hospital, and that's when another demand came. She was required to pay 50,000 shillings to initiate the referral. Time was ticking. The baby was in critical condition. Still, no ambulance would leave until she paid.
Enda mtoto anapelekwa referral Kenyatta, natafuta inatakiwa 50,000. Utafuta 50,000 ndio mtoto apelekwe. Nikaambia 50,000 naitoa wapi? Tafuta mama, maana mtoto anachoka.
She borrowed the money thinking her child would finally get the help he needed. But when the ambulance stopped, they weren't at the Kenyatta National Hospital.
Tunafika, tunaambiwa tushuke, tumeshafika. Kushuka kuangalia, nauliza kwani hapa ndio Kenyatta? Dereva ambulance akasema, mimi hapa ndio nimeambiwa. Au nasi wakasema, hapa ndio tuliambiwa.
The ambulance had taken them to Abian Hospital in Isli, a small private dispensary never mentioned in the referral. And that's where the second nightmare began. Here, Esther says she's been barred from seeing her son, assaulted, insulted, and left without updates. Video evidence seen by Citizen TV shows a hospital administrator assaulting Esther after her husband was beaten for asking to see the child. Desperate, the family is now pleading for the Ministry of Health to intervene and transfer the baby to Kenyatta. We conducted the medical superintendent at Loitoktok Hospital, Ezekiel Kapkoni, who says the hospital bears no responsibility for where the ambulance driver took Esther and her baby. We sought to find out from Abian Hospital why they received a patient whose referral letter clearly stated he ought to have been taken to KNH. The hospital CEO, only identified as Abdullah, said they were duly credited and advised us to take further questions to the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council. Meanwhile, the baby remains locked away, his parents at times barred from seeing him, and a 3 million shilling price tag hangs over his fragile life. Mary Moki, Citizen TV.
The M-Pesa Sokoni caravan continued to tour Kisii and Nyamira counties as Safaricom, in partnership with Royal Media Services, brings the 18th M-Pesa anniversary celebrations right to the customers' doorsteps. Radio Citizen and Egesa FM presenters are on the ground with M-Pesa Sokoni.
Presenters from Egesa FM and Radio Citizen joined residents of Kisii and Nyamira in the vibrant M-Pesa Sokoni celebrations, which continue across the country. Today, the caravan made stopovers in Kisii Town, Keroka, Ikonge and Nyamira, giving residents an opportunity to learn more about M-Pesa services and innovations.
CD Money Market, *334.
We are really happy with the partnership with Citizen
TV, we've been able to really bring our customers together and celebrate what we have been doing the last 18 years. And what have we been doing? We've been giving payment solutions to our merchants so that they can actually build their businesses. Another thing we've done, our merchants today can actually access credit to be able to build stock, to be able to build their businesses.
We have gotten an opportunity to interact with them, at the same time also to get a lot of things they were winning from Safaricom. Safaricom was giving a number of goodies, and we've really enjoyed meeting our listeners, at the same time also getting the gifts that Safaricom had.
Safaricom prides itself on its expansive grassroots presence with more than 1,000 outlets across Kenya serving customers.
That shop serves end-to-end services from Safaricom. There's no way mtu anaenda mbali kutafuta services. Hii duka tumefungua hapa kwa CBD kuwasaidia wananchi. Una replace line, unafanyiwa liba na M-Pesa for merchant business. Tunafanya devices pale, simu yoyote. Tunahamisha watu kutoka ile mulika mwizi, tunaleta kitu inaitwa tunikiwa.
In Kisumu, Safaricom engaged farmers and business owners from the Nyanza region on leveraging technology to grow and sustain their enterprises.
Ninafurahia Safaricom kunialika hapa mambo leo kufundisha wakulima mambo ya ukulima wa kahawa na mambo ya payment ya wakulima wa kahawa.
We brought our own team from DigiFarm to help them understand how they can incorporate technology and AI in digital farming.
Tomorrow, the M-Pesa Sokoni caravan will tour Vihiga, Kakamega and Bungoma counties. Steve Shitera, Citizen TV, Nyamira.
Tower Market in Boni, Makueni County on Tuesday came to standstill as Musi FM, the leading radio station in the Ukambani region under Royal Media Services stable, treated its listeners to a day full of thrilling fun, courtesy of Joy Millers. The listeners who engaged in various cooking competitions using the manufacturer's premium brands, Raha Premium Kavagara and Joy Max Mwivoko, also had the opportunity to meet their favorite radio presenters in the caravan that saw the station host its morning show at the market. Musi FM's head of radio, Christine Ndanu, while lauding the region's support for the last 20 years of the station's existence, reiterated its commitment to continue programming that is innovative, informative and educative.
Piko na Raha Premium, nimefurahi sana. Muendelee hivyo hivyo na mutulete tena na tena.
Na watu wamekubali, watu wameonja chapati, wameonja ugali na wamekubali ya kwamba unga nambari moja hapa nchini ni unga wa Raha Kavagara.
Mashabiki wetu tunawashukuru sana kwa kujitokeza kwa wingi na pia kwa kutushika mkono. Kwanza hivi sasa tunasherehekea miaka 20 ya utangazaji. Tunashukuru sana na tunaomba wazidi kusikiza Musi FM.
All right, so here on The Explainer, like we promised you, we're here with Madam President Faith Odhiambo, President of the Law Society of Kenya, to speak about the state of law and order in the country. And we invite you to give us your comments. The hashtag is The Explainer at Citizen TV Kenya. If you'd like to send us a text message, the number is 22422. Madam President, thank you for being with us on The Explainer tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Let's begin with latest events. We thought maybe there was a slowdown in the abductions. We've heard assurances from the state and government. And just when we thought things were over or slowing down, then we saw the abduction of activist and businessman Mwabili Magodi in Tanzania again, and his release about 4 or 5 days later. Well, what's your reaction to this latest incident?
So first of all, let me just say thank you to all the advocates for their commitment to working together, and even in the East African region, us coming together in terms of challenges like this. So first of all, it's quite appalling and surprising, and also it reads into a very scary scenario that we're seeing in the region. It's like there's a tacit agreement in terms of the region of what is happening. People can walk in and walk out and pick up individuals, though he says that he was originally picked by the Tanzanian government and later on handed over to the Kenyan government, where he said he went through a more horrifying situation in terms of all his items were taken away when you crossed the border. and he was he got some beating, or would say some sort of torture was meted upon him. And even at a time that as a nation we are hearing calls for, you know, things to calm down and us to reevaluate and look at what's the way forward as a nation and as a country. It's quite sad to see that we're escalating even now across the border, that you're never safe. Yeah. Wherever you go, it seems like in the region, that we can't be assured of the safety of Kenyans or our neighbors, so to speak. Because today when you saw the case of Besigye, he's filed a case in Kenya through his advocate, seeking for certain constitutional declarations and compensation from Kenya. And so it's, you know, it gets to a space that we have to agree as a nation where people will be able to express themselves. If we say the streets are not safe, people should not go to the streets, then where do you expect Kenyans to be able to articulate, to share, to be able to raise their concerns, and how will you expect them to engage with the government of the day? Because we demand that abductions must come to an end in our country. We are coming to a stage in our constitution that we should be getting some level of maturity as a nation and a country. But we're seeing a lot of pushbacks that in the Constitution 2010, we're still seeing abductions. And the problem now of the nature that it's taking is you don't know who will you hold accountable. Are you saying that because he says he feels the moment he crossed the border and he was handed over is when things even got worse? And so because even there was no stamping of his passport and eventually everything was taken away, so you cannot say where was he actually? Was he in Tanzania? Was he in Kenya where he got tortured? And how are we moving forward? Yeah. So as a country, I think there needs to be a lot of rethought and reset in terms of how our government wants to work with its people, because this is unsustainable and it will create a situation where people are like a brewing pot waiting to explode. Because if you confine people and push people to the wall, that there's no way of them expressing, reaching out to you and talking to you, then you're only creating a recipe for disaster.
And we will talk a little bit more about, you know, what happened in Tanzania with others as well. You know, all of this has happened in just a short amount of time. And indeed, who we hold accountable and how we go about doing that. But I just want to sort of establish something else that's happening in the country. And you will have seen, we're witnessing acts of what some would term repression by the police. So several times now, they've stopped opposition leaders, government critics from having their meetings, including just this last Sunday when there was opposition leaders who were attempting to have a rally and, you know, they were stopped from doing that. Isn't this in itself not a threat to law and order and the principles of rule of law? What are your thoughts around that?
Well, you know, it's funny that if you look at Article 243 and 244, which outlines the role of the National Police Service, it should be apolitical and uphold the highest standards of professionalism and including human rights standards as they do their work. Well, and yet we're seeing what we would ordinarily see in a repressive system of government, where the police will determine whether you want to assemble or not, yet the plain requirement is that you give a notification that you want to meet at this place at this time. And in actual sense, they ought to be providing security, because if they feel that their security is concerned, they either notify them why they cannot have, or deploy, ensuring that there's security around that area in the event that they want to host and have. Because an apolitical National Police Service should not be saying these ones can host rallies and others can't, because we continue to see government, cabinet secretaries, the president and his team moving around the country and hosting, and we are seeing a lot of the empowerment that is going around the country. So if they can hold rallies, why can't the opposition hold rallies? And so it's a situation where the law should be applied equally to all parties. So if the police feel that there could be violence, let them ensure that they properly deploy and ensure that the police are there to ensure the safety of all citizens who want to engage and listen to what only the government has to say, but also what the opposition has to say.
And, you know, in that incident, and I think we're showing some of the footage, on your screens. Opposition politicians claiming the police service is now getting sucked into partisan politics, and you've just talked about them being apolitical. MP Munyaka alleges that they made him shout the two-term slogan, translating to the pro-government slogan or a pronouncement. Your thoughts on how the police are conducting themselves with respect to that?
Well, we've continuously called out the National Police Service, starting from their head in terms of their role and what they ought to do. And I think it's high time that even apart from holding command responsibility, that we start holding individual police officers accountable, because he's there as an individual. And so when he's violating the Constitution and also the police standing orders, I think the onus is now to hold them personally accountable. That's when it rings home that you are accountable to the rule of law and you must respect the decisions as is. And so unless we start seeing that, and I dare say that when we saw the case of abductions, that we had Justice Mugambi summoning then the acting IG, Masengeli, to court, and after ignoring seven demands for him to appear in court summons, the court gave custodial orders against him, which had not been done in quite a long time. And that forced him to come to court and apologize to the court. That's when it hit home that the courts actually have power. And so I think that it's high time that we start holding individual police officers accountable, and that the courts exercise judicial courage to issue certain stern orders, so that we see now more police being adherent to the rule of law.
My final question before we take a break. Explain to us in the law, would there be any circumstances under the law that would allow the police to block an opposition gathering, as we saw on Sunday and previously, to block protests? Because now you're the legal mind. So help us understand, would there be instances where the police would, by law, be allowed or forced to block a gathering of the public?
Well, I don't want to anticipate what the police would have been thinking, but I would say that unless they have credible evidence or information that there's violence or there's a possible riot or there's going to be destruction of property, which I'd say those will be a lot of conjectures on their part, is when they can say that they're stopping a possible gathering, or they could be at an attack on that particular area and they're trying to safeguard the safety. But, if notice was given in terms of they were informed there's going to be a gathering, I don't see any reason or excuse they ought to be giving, because the role of the police is to provide security and ensure security is upheld. So why not, instead of these games that we're seeing, ensure that you deploy, raise concerns to them in terms of what they think, if any particular area is a hotspot, have a discussion with those leaders, so that at the end of the day, the police have done their part. They've ensured they've tried to secure. But this element of trying to enforce and showing force, that you're blocking opposition leaders, it shows a tangent that you have already decided that you're siding with a certain political rhetoric, which the whole aim of making the National Police Service independent was to pull it away from what it was known during the Moi era, that the police were appendage of the executive. And sadly, this is what we are seeing.
Let's take a break. We have much to talk about with you, including the role of IPOA, what's happening in the country, and that use of terrorism or anti-terrorism charges on protests. We know you issued a strong statement recently. We'll be talking a lot more about that and where we go from here. Stay with us here as we speak to the President of the Law Society of Kenya, Faith Odhiambo, here on The Explainer. We're taking a break. We will be back with more with her here on the program. Curbing cartel behavior. Competition Tribunal upholds fines against Devki, Tononoka and others over price-fixing scandal.
Terra Gardens by Username, just 20 minutes from Ngong Town. Get your 8th acre plot for only 699,000 shillings. SMS Ngong to 20321 or call 0725 000 222.
what? Citizen Duka now delivers! Get amazing discount on your favorite essentials and have them brought straight to your doorstep, all for just 200 shillings delivery fee. Go to citizenduka.com, select the product you want, pay, and we'll handle the rest.
Citizen Duka, the home of discount.
Your mother's love is with you wherever you go. It starts with little moments of courage to stepping out into the new world with confidence. Stay soft. Nothing lasts like mom's love.
What can a new beginning do? To smile. Let us start a new beginning with you. Premier Bank. New beginnings.
Why do 7 out of 10 kids have cavities, sir? Because whatever this toothpaste has for cavity protection, isn't enough. Double Herbal contains clove. My mother says it contains eugenol, which is 100% effective in cavity protection. Where there's clove, there's no cavity.
Jishindie nafasi ya kutazama mechi ya Chelsea msimu ujao live ndani ya Stamford Bridge, Uingereza.
Lovely little pirouette. Oh, what a ball for Cucurella!
Shinda bodaboda kila wiki, airtime kila siku. Predator Energy, the official energy drink partner of Chelsea FC.
Experience Swiss-based education in the heart of Nairobi. With practical, hands-on skills, we prepare you for the dynamic world of culinary arts and patisserie or international hospitality management. Travel the world and gain global work experience through our international placement network as you shape your career as the next global future leader in hospitality. Welcome to the Boma International Hospitality College. August and September intake ongoing.
One day, while teaching an oral health care class, I saw a little boy who kept covering his mouth. It turns out he had lost some of his teeth and he felt embarrassed. Now, as a hygienist, a child's smile means everything to me. Every child has a right to smile, and a beautiful smile is a healthy smile, and nothing should ever get in the way of that.
Royal Mabati Factory Limited. Grab our media sales discounts. Corrugated and box profile at 405 per meter, brick tile at 482 and Roman tile at 517. Relax at home and enjoy free delivery countrywide. Call us on 0722 63 8383.
Checking these guys on the Uber borders. Wanna claim they ride smoother. People are getting soft around here. What's wrong with a few swabs and cuffs? Wait. Okay. It's just one mirror. There's another one.
Next time, skip the swabs and curves. Uber Boda. Everything Uber, now on 2 wheels.
Venus unveils confidence that captivates with 5 times more hydration. Venus, inspired by nature, perfected by science.
Business News, brought to you by Definite Assurance. We've got you covered. Fast claims settlement, PSV, private and commercial vehicle insurance. Visit definiteassurance.com. Definite Assurance. You are definitely covered. Uko nao.
We will be back with the president of the Law Society of Kenya in a minute, but first, tonight's business news. Now, let's take a look at what's happening with the Competition Tribunal that has affirmed fines against 5 steel manufacturers, including Devki Steel and Tononoka Rolling Mills, for cartel behavior. These companies were found guilty of colluding to fix prices and restrict the supply of steel products, significantly increasing the cost of construction for homes and infrastructure throughout the country. This decision concludes a multi-year investigation by the Competition Authority of Kenya into anti-competitive practices within the sector. The firms were among 14 initially implicated for price fixing and limiting imports of essential steel products, leading to inflated prices for materials such as bars, beams and pipes. Jasmine Wamboi now brings us the story.
The case dates back to 2021 when steel prices began rising sharply in patterns that could not be explained by normal market forces. Alarmed by the price fluctuations, the Competition Authority of Kenya launched investigations into 14 manufacturers. The authority conducted search and seizure operations during which they confiscated both physical and electronic evidence from company offices and executives' homes. The probe revealed widespread cartel conduct, including price fixing and output restrictions intended to manipulate supply and inflate prices. When presented with preliminary findings, 5 firms opted for early settlement. The remaining 9 were subjected to forensic analysis, uncovering emails and WhatsApp conversations that exposed detailed coordination between the companies. The conversations showed executives agreeing on price adjustments, timing of hikes, and import limitations for key products such as coils used in roofing and fabrication of windows and doors. At the close of the investigation in 2023, the authority fined the 9 companies a combined total of about 339 million shillings for their role in artificially inflating construction material prices. Under the law, the authority can impose fines of up to 10% of a company's annual turnover. Among those penalized were Tononoka Rolling Mills at 62.7 million shillings, Devki Steel Mills at 46.2 million, and Blue Nile Wire Products at 9.1 million shillings. Displeased with the decision and the penalties, the manufacturers moved to the Competition Tribunal. On July 9th this year, the tribunal upheld the authority's decision for 5 of the manufacturers. The 5 now have 30 days from the day of ruling to appeal the decision at the High Court. The steel industry, an economic powerhouse valued at over 100 billion shillings every year, has historically enjoyed government support. This includes tax incentives on imported machinery and even preferential treatment on public infrastructure projects. The point of these measures is to spur expansion in the sector and in turn generate employment. However, the cartel-like behavior of players in the sector has jeopardized these efforts. Jasmine Wamboi, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
The failure by Uwezo Funds Management to respond to key audit queries raised by the Office of the Auditor General may consequently lead to the collapsing of several funds into one. According to the National Assembly Special Fund Committee Chairperson Fatuma Zainab, there is a need to restructure these funds into one so that they can collectively work on recovery and reduce risk exposure. And as Jimmy Mbogo now reports, up to 3/4 of the funds disbursed are not repaid.
The expenditure of Uwezo Fund in the financial year 2022-2023 and 2023-2024 is now being put into question. According to the Office of the Auditor General, the fund has only managed to satisfy 3 out of 10 audit queries raised in the period, an issue that has prompted the intervention of the National Assembly Special Fund Committee. Citizen TV has learned that in 2022-2023 financial year, the fund had an outstanding receivable of over 4 billion shillings. In the same period, the fund's budgetary control and performance was also put under scrutiny, with the auditors finding that there was a 193 million shillings under expenditure and questioning why the fund has only 20 staff members, mostly seconded from the State Department instead of 70. In the 2023-2024 financial year, the auditors further raised questions concerning the lack of provision for bad debt, which rose to over 5 billion shillings. At the same time, the lack of distinction between recurrent and non-recurrent receivable was also flagged. The auditors were further concerned with the fund's financial performance after it reported a 74 million shillings deficit, as well as an overutilization of expenditure by 58 million shillings.
We are losing a lot of money because the structures are not put in a way that the institution giving the money is able to follow the money back. Because if a loan is given to a group of people, it's just by their ID and telephone contacts. And after that, they don't know where to follow the people. And so it becomes very difficult for the institution to follow up. So we are having so many unpaid debts, and we are not sure whether we should write them off and what reason will we have for writing them off.
The committee is now mulling the collapse and consolidation of key funds into one to enhance efficiency. It was also noted that 3/4 of the Uwezo funds are not repaid, a scenario replicated in the Women Enterprise Fund and the Youth Fund.
So it's difficult to follow. We need to restructure these funds and probably make them one fund so that they can collectively work together and find a way of following. Otherwise, we are losing a lot of money. The intention of the government was good, but the intention of the person borrowing the money is not good. They don't pay.
Uwezo Fund has been given 14 working days to respond to the committee and the Auditor General's questions before the next course of action is taken. Jimmy Mbogo, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
A lack of information and public awareness is significantly undermining efforts to achieve food security across the African continent. This was the key message from agricultural experts during a media briefing held ahead of the upcoming Africa International Agricultural Expo set for October this year. Stakeholders emphasized that many farmers, particularly smallholders, are not adequately informed about modern farming practices, climate-smart technologies and market access strategies that could transform their yield and livelihood. The expo is set to attract between 150 to 200 exhibiting companies and over 10,000 local and international visitors.
One of the major challenges, in addition to the backward technology, is fragmented information and lack of proper systems for information dissemination. So we think and we do believe that through this initiative of the 2025 Africa International Agricultural Expo, key players are going to come together to forge solutions that are going to solve the challenges and problems that are facing agriculture sector in our region.
We expect on that discussion and that engagement to see more innovative ways of producing food. We expect on that discussion to see our women and youth are engaged. How African can use the current technologies in the market to enhance their food productivity.
Business News, brought to you by Definite Assurance. We've got you covered. Fast claims settlement, PSV, private and commercial vehicle insurance. Visit definiteassurance.com. Definite Assurance. You are definitely covered. Uko nao.
Sports News, brought to you by... Back your favorite team as they battle for glory in the Total Energies CAF African Nations Championship 2024, right here on home soil.
Defending champions Highway Secondary School started their title defence on the wrong footing with a 3-1 defeat to new football powerhouse St. Joseph's Kitale from Rift Valley. This was in the opening match of Group B at the Kakamega High School. Collins Molati opened the scoring for the winners through a penalty kick in the first half for a 1-0 lead at the half-time break. Dangerman Instance Simiu scored a brace for St. Joseph's in the second half, while Rashid Mandi scored a consolation goal for the champions. In other results, Kirangari from Central blanked Serani from Coast 2-0. Wasingu Scorpions from Western hammered Mbiruri from Eastern 5-1, while Agai from Nyanza thrashed Garissa 8-1. The national women volleyball team, Malkia Strikers, will leave for Thailand on the 15th of August for the 2025 FIVB World Championship. After nearly 3 weeks of training, the squad has been trimmed from 29 players to 20, with 6 more to be dropped ahead of departure. New head coach Jeffrey Omondi has decried the poor training conditions but says the team is in high spirits. The coach is working on 3 key areas: service, defence in the front and backcourts, as well as setting. With no injuries in the team, the technical bench is now assessing each position and the needs in the team before picking the final squad. Only 14 players will travel to Thailand, where Kenya is placed in a tough Group G, together with powerhouses Poland, Germany and Vietnam. On Chan 101 tonight, we look at the men and women at the centre of the pitch, those who make crucial decisions during the match. The match officials are already in the country, so just who is representing East Africa? Mike Okinyi with the details.
Well, on Chan 101 today, we look at the match officials that we'll have for the Chan tournament in Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania. What do we have? When you look at our wall here, we've got all the match officials, 70 match officials from across Africa. Those are 26 referees. We've got 26 assistant referees and 18 video match officials, also known as the VAR officials. Remember, all these matches, 44 of them, will be under VAR scrutiny. The VAR officials will be telling the referees on the pitch if there's any incident that they need to review. And remember, all these 70 match officials are coming from 30 CAF member associations or 30 countries across Africa. So who are the referees that we have and where are they coming from? When you look at the referees, these are the referees from East Africa. We only have 4 of them, and that is Dickens Mimisa from Kenya, FIFA referee, Ahmed Arajiga, FIFA accredited referee from Tanzania, and Razake Kasaliriwe from Uganda, also a FIFA accredited referee. Shamira Nabanda, we'll look at her in the next slide and see why she's important in this list. So the assistant referees that we have, and remember we are looking at the assistant referees from the East African countries of Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania. Samuel Kuria from Kenya, Ronald Katenya from Uganda, and Ali Hamdani Said from Tanzania. So those are the match officials as the assistant referees. The VAR officials, who are very important. When you look at the VAR officials, there's only one video assistant referee or video match official, Stephen Yembe. Remember, Kenya has produced very, very good VAR officials. Kamaku, Professor Kamaku, he was the first one, did very well at the AFCON tournament. And now we've got Stephen Yembe, who will be on the video assistant referee or VAR room. So match officials on the women's side, we've got Buchra Karbubi from Morocco and Shamira Nabanda from Uganda. These two have proven to be very, very good referees, both on the men and the women matches, and CAF decided these two must come and officiate at the Chan tournament. So on the assistant referees as well, we've got women there, and this is Diana Chikotesha from Zambia and Azebong Fomo Karin from Cameroon. Those are the assistant referees on the women's side. Remember, they're already here. They've gone through some training, they've gone through orientation, and they're ready to take us through the 44 matches that will be played. We hope we'll see some of them in the finals match that will be played on the 30th of August in Nairobi at Kasarani. Back to you, Yvonne.
Thank you for that, Mike. Now, Niger is the first team from Group C to arrive in Uganda for the African Nations Championship Chan that kicks off in 4 days' time. Niger touched down at the Entebbe airport to a colourful reception by the hosts, Uganda. Group C has hosts Uganda, Niger, South Africa, Algeria and Guinea. Niger will play Guinea in the opening match of Group C on Monday, the 4th of August, at the Mandela Stadium in Kampala. Hosts Uganda have rolled out an elaborate program for their arriving visitors, complete with traditional dancers and entertainers at the airport. This is how Niger was received in Entebbe.
Sports News brought to you by Back your favorite team as they battle for glory in the Total Energies CAF African Nations Championship 2024 right here on home soil.
All right, and we are back with the President of the Law Society of Kenya, Faith Odhiambo. There's your feedback that's coming through, including some interventions that you require the LSK to do. We will get to your feedback in a moment at Citizen TV Kenya. 22422 is the SMS line. And we continue with taking a look at the state of law and order in the country. Thank you for continuing to stay with us. I think the one place I want to go to is now IPOA, which is, of course, the body that's mandated under the Constitution to investigate police conduct and police excesses. There have been several complaints that have gone to IPOA. The opposition leaders who were recently barred from having their gathering went and made an official complaint there. Many others have done so as well. But other than condemning and investigating, Madam President, what other remedies do you think IPOA can offer to complainants or victims of police violence?
Well, IPOA, I think some of their biggest complaints are that they are not actually properly funded to be able to carry out their mandate. Because even in prosecution, they don't get the deployment plan, operational plan from the IG's office in terms of knowing who is deployed where, when, and so that it narrows down the investigations in terms of being able to have more cases that they can say we have been able to prosecute this large number of cases based on the feedback and the information that we have been able to gather. And I think IPOA has investigated quite a number. They say they have investigated quite a number, but people want to see action in terms of implementation. Yeah. So my question is, and that is something they've been mulling about, asking for rights to prosecute their own cases, that it doesn't have to go under the discretion of the Director of Public Prosecutions for them to be able to mount more prosecutions. In terms of victims, I think we're still a bit behind because we haven't actualized the victims' compensation fund, so that even if we see there's this tangible evidence and we're able to surmount a case against individuals, how do we now make reparations to individual persons? But I say IPOA still has a long way to go, because there are cases that people still complain to the Law Society. They've either refused to take up or they are refusing to follow up unless they feel presence of pressure to be able to take up those matters. And, you know, as a Law Society, there's so much we can do. We can't be every single place in every single case. And the concern is also how do we ensure and monitor and also be able to determine what scorecards in terms of what action can be taken against IPOA if they are not actually carrying out their mandate. Yeah. Because we don't want to wait to see like the term of the last IPOA board that gave us a very big report but saying much of nothing in terms of we are not having tangible feedback, we're not seeing a lot of pushback in terms of what changes are being implemented post the work that IPOA has done, and we continue to see the fights between them and the National Police Service. But can't they take some for interpretation before courts, so that courts can actually implement if the law is saying that you ought to be given this information in this manner, instead of just complaining, why not go before those courts and seek redress so that the courts can give direct orders and hold individual persons accountable, that we may actually see more action coming from IPOA.
Yeah, and you know, when we talk about the police and their conduct, how can we ensure that police are held accountable for their actions? In some cases it would seem frustrating, in other cases it would seem that it takes a very long time. For instance, today we've seen you know, the conviction of 2 police officers who were found guilty of killing somebody in 2020 during the COVID-19 restrictions. So that's, you know, 5 years of justice. One, how do we hold police accountable for their actions, and what does justice look like for victims, particularly those, you know, who are killed, you know, by police?
You know, the first thing is also us talking about our judicial system as a whole, because even the case of Willie Kimani took 6 years, and so it took pressure from, you know, 3 different presidents of the Law Society to actually have this matter heard and determined. Now, we're looking at other cases. We're still looking at Albert Ojwang's case, Boniface Kariuki, who have the cases which have just started, and even the inquest that is being done on Rex Masai. And unfortunately, in this country, we know the history of inquests. They hardly ever take off, and we never see any action thereafter. And so I know people are really watching to see what is going to happen in this inquest. But our judicial system should have a way that we fast-track certain cases. We are fast-tracking election petition matters. We are fast-tracking corruption cases. We're trying to fast-track, you know, GBV cases. We have special courts. And, you know, it's a suggestion that I made once in the National Council of Administrative Justice that we start having courts to prosecute that specialize in dealing with police violations, so that those matters can be heard expeditiously. And why I say this, it should be taken positively, that it has a 2-prong. It's good because people actually feel and see justice, because people want to see perpetrators held accountable. I don't want to report, and we have tabled evidence, we've gone with IPOA, done statements, we've gone to, started a court matter, yet you're still seeing probably that police officer around that police station, even after reporting, even if they're not yet charged, and the DPP is saying they're evaluating the evidence, but you're still seeing him around your neighborhood. That's not justice. People want to see and feel justice. So you want those matters heard and determined. And particularly in cases then that in the flip side, there's no adequate evidence, then we need to see those ones as well being tabled, and then the courts determining that there's no adequate evidence, so that we can follow up. Why is there no adequate evidence? Who should be held accountable? If it's failure to press charges, who are we asking these hard questions? Because people want to see, people don't want to see that frustration that you keep coming to court, going back, coming to court, going back, and you're not seeing any action. And, you know, sometimes I say, unfortunately, the blame is placed on the judiciary sometimes, because after a matter dragging on for years, then the court finds that there's no adequate evidence. Yeah. But this could have been dealt with if this were held on a day-to-day basis or heard expeditiously, so that Kenyans can know where to hold who are accountable, instead of waiting for years before we see actually some tangible evidence. And now, when we talk about compensation, today we have so many cases of those women who have lost, Kenyans who have been killed, the young girl, the 12-year-old girl, the family is still crying for justice. Yeah. The lady who died in Nanyuki, the family is still demanding for justice. And apart from, you know, seeing an investigation to see individual persons held accountable, what is the responsibility of the state in terms of there are people who are killed by police firearms, those who are not even engaging, if you so to say, in protests. Yeah. But there's nothing in place in terms of, we have laws that need to be implemented by Parliament to be able to ensure that we have individuals that can go to court, court can make a decision and ensure there's some compensation that is allocated, because we know the promises from last year to compensate families have not come to fruition. And, you know, the cherry picking in terms of, we've seen some amount of money going to Albert Ojwang's family, We don't know if Boniface Kariuki's family got anything. We've still not had the family that lost their 12-year-old daughter have not seen anything. Baby Pendo's case to date is still a very painful reminder. How many years later, dragging in court, nothing has been given to their families. And so we need systems that actually work. And so it needs that we need to think about fast-tracking of these cases and also actualizing through Parliament the legal instruments to ensure that there's proper structures to ensure compensation for victims. Yeah.
You know, as we speak about the protests, let's talk about the question of the use of terror charges on protests. You know, just really quickly, you issued a very strong statement against this. And in response to that, the Cabinet Secretary, Murkomen, who is a member of the LSK as a practicing advocate, condemned the stand taken by the LSK and by yourself as president. He says you are siding with terrorists and aiding them by seeking what he calls lenient bail terms. Madam President, are you siding with terrorists?
First of all, it's not Murkomen to determine if someone is a terrorist or not. It's the law, it's the judiciary to determine and make that verdict. If indeed, at the end of the day, they'll determine that these people were actually terrorists, if they meet that threshold. And secondly, in our judicial system, in the Kenyan system, Article 50 provides that you're innocent until proven guilty. And further, Article 49 provides that you have the right for legal counsel. So at no particular point does the Law Society agree to whatever statements that were made by the Cabinet Secretary in his capacity. We must be able to remember that the history of our country, we have seen leaders who are now sitting in Oval offices being termed as treasonists, as terrorists, as murderers amongst the heinous crimes in our country, merely because they had a dissenting voice. And merely because you call someone a thief does not make them a thief. It's until they go through the court system, the court is able to evaluate the evidence presented and able to determine that indeed they committed this crime and hold them accountable. Now, again, with that aside, the argument that the Cabinet Secretary has been relying on is on the plight of the business people, the destruction of property. And the Law Society, even in its statement, condemned the destruction of property and reminded Kenyans that you enjoy the right to protest as long as it's peaceful, as provided under Article 37. And we also recognize the challenge that we've seen, the anarchy that has since developed in the protests. And so, you see, the problem is how do you identify who is just a simple protester, who was engaged in the looting, and the goons that we saw walking alongside the police. And what the Law Society is saying is that adopt the same standard. Under the Kenyan law, we are equal under the law. And so we see police walking hand in hand with goons. And the question is, how many police officers have been arrested and questioned with regards to them walking alongside these goons? How many goons have since been arrested? We've seen individuals who are protesters who have been said some were engaging in destruction of property. And I say that if they're found culpable, then they should be held liable under the law as provided. And so it's not for the Law Society to say that we are determining that they should be given lenient bail and bond terms. And a greater worry for me and a concern is that is the aim that they are terrorists and they should be held accountable as terrorists, or is it the question of getting high bail and bond terms to ensure that they are held longer in custody? And so if the onus or if the aim is to ensure that they don't get bail terms, then are they really terrorists? And also a greater concern that I think our government doesn't look at is, on one hand, you're saying that you're inviting people to this country, investor confidence. I saw in news we are looking to have big delegations coming to the country, and yet you're saying in pockets around our country we are carrying various terrorists, young people who are terrorists everywhere, some who are being given free bond or some who are going out on very low bail terms. So you're telling the country and the nation and investors that we have terrorists roaming freely somewhere around our country, and, you know, at any point they can strike and, you know, cause damage. And you know, as the Law Society, we're raising concern because there needs to be a review of the law, because looking at how they are applying the law in terms of the terrorist charges that are coming against these individuals, if they have destroyed property, if they have burnt down buildings, or there are various laws that you can charge them and hold them accountable, and they'll be liable under the law. Now, the misuse of the Terrorism Act, because if you look at the kind of terrorists and the history we've had in this country, and imagining a terrorist walking freely, being released on 30,000 or 100,000 and walking the streets, it creates a very uncomfortable feel in the country, that you have someone who can destroy and burn down and bring chaos and anarchy at any time of the country. And so also something that I say is that during the mandamanos that used to be there before the Gen Zs got to the streets, I think we saw much more destruction of property and a standstill of the nation in terms of the kind of demonstrations we saw. The Terrorism Act wasn't applied then, yet it is being applied now. What is the difference? And secondly, we need to look at the bigger picture in terms of pull back to democracy as a nation, because they didn't have the idea to use terrorism then. Now they have the idea to use terrorism and the Terrorism Act tomorrow. And so it means that any person who comes out to say they're against any decision of the government, they are going there, because you'd say that the Gen Z protests were actually pushing against the government passing the finance bill. So it's actually an act to intimidate the government from doing a certain action. So we had these huge pockets of terrorists all around the country, if that's the kind of loose definition they want to use. And the clawback, if we look at democracy as a nation, is that tomorrow, those who feel comfortable, they're in power. Tomorrow, if they're in opposition, they'll be terrorists, and they can be arrested and prosecuted. And also, the unfortunate thing is, what would be the impact of, you know, these terrorism charges in the futures of these young men and women? Yeah. And so that is the stance that the Law Society is saying. And we must look at it holistically. If people have committed crimes, charge them the rightful crime under the Act. It's not a matter of cherry picking what you think will hold people longer in prison, but look at the impact that you'll not only have in the country, but also in the lives of those individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a break now. We will be back with more on that. There is much more to talk about. Those violations that we're seeing of human rights, there we are. Whatever is happening in Tanzania, indeed, in the region as well. What does justice look like for that? And much more, including we now have a new set of commissioners at the electoral management body, IEBC. What's their first priority, according to the president of the Law Society of Kenya? That, plus your feedback and questions when we return. Law and Order, Keeping the Faith. An interview with LSK President Faith Odhiambo.
Terra Gardens by username. Just 20 minutes from Ngong Town. Get your 8th acre plot for only 699,000 shillings. SMS Ngong to 20321 or call 0725 000 222.
Introducing Wigo, your trusted ride. The ride with the most reliable, verified, efficient and transparent drivers. With fabulous cashback incentives for passengers, each trip on Wigo feels like an upgrade. Download Wigo from Play Store or App Store or SMS Wigo to 20425 and ride with confidence. Wigo, let's go.
Welcome to Coop Bank Naivasha Horticultural Fair. Join industry experts, growers and suppliers from across the region for 2 days of networking and business opportunities. Mark your calendar, Friday 19th and Saturday 20th September 2025 at the Naivasha Sports Club grounds. To book your exhibition space, call us through the numbers on the screen or email us. The Coop Bank Naivasha Horticultural Fair, where innovation meets growth.
Venus unveils confidence that captivates with 5 times more hydration. Venus, inspired by nature, perfected by science.
trusted through time, gentle on skin, rich in care. Wrap your whole family in a long-lasting embrace. Our sensory range transforms your daily self-care into sensorial delight. Scent, softness, serenity. Choose your beautiful your way. Our men's range is built to elevate your grooming routine. Cooling and refreshing. Elevate your game. No shortcuts. Imperial Leather. Long-lasting luxury for you.
Ushaichapa shopping while getting entertained? Well, form ndio hiyo. M-Pesa Sokoni Festival. Mali safi. Bei ya jioni on smartphones, household goods, electronics, beauty and fashion, food and drinks, plus much more. Tokea M-Pesa Sokoni Festival, enjoy bei ya jioni from your favorite biasharas as you vibe to great music from DJs na artists wazito. Tunaingia Kisumu Dala Saturday 2nd August 2025. Tupatane pale Jomo Kenyatta International Stadium aka Mambo Leo Stadium. Entry ni free, we kuja na vibes. M-Pesa Sokoni Festival. Mali safi, bei ya jioni.
Every promise begins with a spark. We've kept our promise. From one generation to the next, from quiet beginnings to soaring dreams, we have been Africa's friend and partner. Because when you make a promise, Britam is here to help you see it through. Britam, 60 years of safeguarding Africa's dreams and aspirations.
Got me so fresh, so clean, yes, I owe it to Flamingo. So glowing softness, all the moisture, yeah, yeah, yeah. Bigger shower, ngarana, Flamingo. So Flamingo, Flamingo, so what do you like to call Flamingo, Flamingo? For your beauty and hand washing needs. Flamingo, so own your glow with Flamingo, so.
Morana Care Homes offer professional and compassionate care for the elderly, patients on palliative care, and those needing support with daily living. We provide long-term stays, short-term respite, and daycare services. Residents enjoy engaging activities like chair yoga, storytelling, crocheting, and more. Call 0116-006-699 for more information or visit us at Komboni Crescent, Karen, Nairobi. Morana Care Homes, gentle hands, caring hearts.
Our bodies are sustained by nature's endless gifts. From the food we eat to the air we breathe, the vitamins and minerals strengthen us, helping us glow and thrive. Introducing Vitamin N for nature. Give your skin a daily dose of Vitamin N. Experience Amara Skincare, packed with Vitamin N. Amara, embrace nature.
Are you ready to shape your child's future? ACK St. Mark's Church Westlands invites you to the International Education Career and Mentorship Fair on 1st and 2nd August from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at ACK St. Mark's Church Westlands and Westlands Primary School grounds. With over 4,000 students expected to attend from across the country, this event will offer mentorship, career guidance, and educational opportunities both locally and abroad. Call us on 0727-582-688 or email at stmarkseducationfair@gmail.com.
All right, welcome back. We're here with Faith Odhiambo, the president of the Law Society of Kenya. I want to continue with this conversation on the right to protest. There is the proposals to amend the Public Order Act, and this is being led by Member of National Assembly, Esther Passaris. It was abandoned at some point, but in a tweet that she put out today, she continues to defend it, and she says, and I quote, "My public order bill is grounded in values of protecting lives, upholding order, and ensuring that freedom does not descend into chaos." What are your thoughts around these proposals to limit the rights around protesting in the country?
Well, I think it's quite, how can I say it nicely? There are just attempts to just try and strangle the constitutional rights under Article 37. And I say it's quite a myopic view in terms of thinking that you can try and limit guaranteed rights under the Constitution. And so instead of focusing on trying to create avenues of trying to prevent people from actually sharing and going out on the streets, is maybe to rethink and start thinking, how can we ensure there is public participation and that people are able to express themselves using the different forums. There's now use of technology, amongst others. And so if we do not want people to express themselves in the streets, ensure that you open up different avenues for people to be able to engage, to be able to share whatever challenges they're having and their thoughts. And I would say that it's high time that we start being more inclusive with regards to how the youth have moved in terms of how do they want to share their views, how do they want to protest, because protests need not be physical, but they have shown they can be able to protest using the X spaces and the different technology-based opportunities that they have. And I would say that, of course, as the Law Society, we will wait to see. We were able to give our memorandum when the now CS Ruku tabled his proposals on the demonstrations bill, and we'll wait to see what those proposals are. And of course, if they're draconian in nature, we will challenge them.
Yeah, and do you see a trend with that? Because now this is the second attempt to do that. When Geoffrey Ruku was in the National Assembly, of course, now he's in the executive. But is there a trend here that you see? Because, again, his bill came up right after the protests in June last year, 2024. And then now in 2025, again, you see some attempts at that.
Exactly, because we saw, first of all, the IG, as he then was, issued directives saying that you cannot hold protests. Then he said you must give how many days notice, which the courts nullified all of those. So in tandem with the courts also pushing back in terms of the courts protecting the constitutional right under Article 37, I think those are now, they're clutching on straws, looking for ways to try and limit under statute. And unfortunately, I feel like also this is a bit of testing waters to see how far they can push or how much they can try and move in terms of preventing people from actually expressing themselves. But I'd say it's unfortunate because the courts are still there, the courts are still alive in terms of they're not close to what is happening in the country and the kind of pushback that is there. And of course, the Law Society, irrespective of the seat holder that sits on the presidency, will continue to fight to uphold the rule of law.
Yeah, and speaking of the courts, which you say are alive to what is happening in the country, we're in a situation where the courts have actually issued orders, particularly around protests about what can and cannot happen, that police officers, even during a protest, must be have their faces visible, have their numbers be easily identifiable. But we're seeing, Madam President, a situation where not all court orders are complied with. Definitely frustrating justice. How do we enforce court orders? Because while it seems that they're alive to some of the issues that are happening, they issue orders and many of those orders continue to be ignored.
Well, we've seen quite a number of court orders being ignored. The one that was issued against, yes, of course, police should be identifiable and they should not cover their faces. Their vehicles as well should be able to be identifiable. The use of water cannons, the tear gas canisters, the rubber bullets, and the live bullets. Yeah. And yet we still see the use of the same today in various protests around the country. And for me is, what must we do in terms of the judiciary? The judiciary must also have a bite in terms of they must be able to be courageous in terms of holding those who violate these court orders personally accountable. And even sometimes not to pay fines by the National Police Service. They should personally be able to pay for those fines, if not custodial orders. That's the only way that we'll actually see tangible change. Because unless either the courts refuse to grant the same violators of these court orders audience, or, you know, come back with a punch and actually hold them liable for these violations under the law, then we'll not see any tangible changes.
Yeah, because, Madam President, there was also one on campaigns outside the election period, right, where they said that that's violating the law and the right to free and fair elections. You know, but here we are. People are still going around the country. You would imagine that we have an election, what, 2 years?
Yeah.
And some days to come. And yet we still have early political campaigns. You would imagine there's an election that's happening in this country a few months from now.
Unfortunately, yes. And I think those are some of the things that the new commission, the IEBC, must now grapple with and start, you know, fold their arms and start working. Because if they do not crack the whip, and also, you know, they will really help politicize the palpable environment that we have right now as a country. Because irrespective of the same, you see, when you're seeing even a government that is actively campaigning, then you will obviously see the opposition side actively campaigning. So there has to be a referee to be able to say, you know, no more campaigns during this period. And so unless, and unfortunately, we've not had an IEBC commission for quite a long period of time. And now that they're set in place, I think these are part and parcel of the things that they'll have to see and grapple with at the inception.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But before we get to that, I would like to hear from you, your assessment on the relationship between the Law Society of Kenya and the government. Over the last 2 years, it's looked rather acrimonious. Should it be that way by necessity? What should be the nature of the relationship between the two?
Well, ideally, the Law Society's role under Section 4 of our Act is that we are also an advisor to government. And I dare say, even before the Gen Z protests got to where they were, we had appeared before Parliament and advised them. We appeared before the head of state as well, alongside various stakeholders to, you know, share the reasons why we were strongly against certain sections of the finance bill the previous year. And we normally give memorandum and advisories to government. Unfortunately, the last, I would say, a year, our relationship hasn't been absolutely the best. However, we still engage with government in terms of our members sit in various committees belonging to the government. I think our relationship would be better if there was a bit more of openness in terms of listening and taking back feedback, because our role is to defend the rule of law. So in event that there are actions that don't support protection of the rule of law, of course, will not be at the same side. But where government has been doing positive things, we've participated in the task force on gender-based violence and femicide, because that was an issue that was affecting the nation and the country, and that there needed to be some changes under the law, holistically working with different stakeholders. So we have worked quite well under that ambit, and would be ready to work with government with regards to areas that we think LSK can give a positive input. And I would say that our relationship would be better if there was more openness in terms of just receiving feedback. You know, you don't need to be part of the choir at all times. And sometimes it's good to listen to, you know, I think the odd bass or alto in the room in terms of these are things that you need to take into consideration. Because the work we do with not only the members of the public, but daily working also, we go to courts, working with the judiciary, can give feedback that the government can actually find useful. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, you know, when you're lumped together with civil society, human rights groups, many that are critical of government, do you think it poses any challenge to how the LSK is perceived?
Well, The government's narrative from last year has been its secretary, who is a member of the Law Society of Kenya, gets the books of accounts of the Law Society and is able to know we survive majorly on members' subscription. And so this kind of analogy of trying to create a negative perception is quite unfortunate. And the government should realize that instead of fighting different entities that work with in the country, there should be some sort of collaboration, because civil society feel a lot of gaps that the government is not able to reach. And instead of looking at holistically, because last year we also saw attacks on the religious communities and the churches with regards to their coming out strongly in their voices. And now it's civil society, and then LSK. We don't know who is next that is going to be coupled in that basket. But it comes a time that there needs to be a fundamental shift in terms of looking at what are the concerns that are being raised. Can we focus on the issues and be able to resolve them and see how you work together? Because these institutions work in the country. And of course, they also can only thrive when the country is peaceful. So how do we ensure that you can work with these different entities to be able, the government can do its work, but also civil society play the relevant gap that they are quite imperative to do in the society?
Yeah. You know, earlier when we started the conversation, we talked about what's happening regionally, right? With those who are activists who are either abducted in Tanzania. We've also seen deportations. Former Chief Justice William Mutunga, Martha Karua, party leader, deported. Boni Fesmwangi and Agatha Tuhaire, who were abducted as well. Now, there is a lawsuit that's been filed by Boniface Mwangi and I think Agatha against the Tanzanian government at the East African Court of Justice. What are the chances of such a lawsuit? What, you know, how would that happen there? What would be the result or outcome of that, if at all? Would it have any binding commitments on the Tanzanian government, do you think?
Well, I don't know about them adhering to the orders once issued, because we've seen the kind of tangent that things have been taken, but the courts can issue declarations and even in terms of violation of their rights as well as compensation for the victims. It was filed by the East Africa Law Society of Kenya, which the chair actually is a Kenyan, Ramadan Abubakar.
Yeah.
Who guides the regional heads bar associations in East Africa. And we hope that we can get positive declarations, because it also sends a message in terms of a neutral arbiter, because of course the challenge of being able to file in the Tanzanian courts. Yeah. Which speaks a lot. But the East African Court is the only avenue at that particular, that they at least can get heard and get an opportunity to raise those concerns and let the Tanzanian government also, it sends a message to the international community, it sends a message to investors who are coming to Tanzania, and slowly it will have an impact, because people will be seeing what's happening in the country. You say that things are different, it's peaceful, it's this civil society that have come to destroy the country. But evidence will be able to show, because this went through a neutral arbiter, it went to a court, evidence was tabled, and the courts made their pronouncements. Mm-hmm. And so slowly but surely, I think this could be the start of, you know, piling pressure on the Tanzanian government, because the kind of trajectory that we continue to see and the pushback in Tanzania, it's becoming more and more intolerable to other citizens coming to that country.
Mm. Let's come back home, and I want us to now start looking ahead with what we see going forward. So, IEBC has just settled in. The new commissioners take an oath of office, now sort of trying to get to work. I wonder what your view is on the commission itself, the set of commissioners, and what you then think would be their highest priority, considering they've got just 2 years and maybe 12 days to go to the general election in 2027.
About the new IEBC commission, I would say that they have a hard task ahead of them. I would say whatever rhetoric has been made against them on their personal capacity on the cases, now that they are the commissioners sitting, we should focus on how do we hold them accountable and the work that they have ahead of them. I believe that they have a huge duty in terms of restoring confidence in the members of the public and even on our Gen Zs that the system actually works and that they can ensure that they deliver to Kenyans a free, fair, and credible election. That should be on top of their list. The second is they only have 2 years. They must create a roadmap in terms of the election management plan. How will they roll out and what do they intend to do? We now have, it's 13 years post the last election boundaries delineation. Yes. They must be able to determine and decide, are they going to court to ask the court whether they can proceed with the same or they will not be doing it in event given the short timelines that are there. There needs to be a review in terms of electoral reforms. We saw the chair saying that they've already come up with the bills. We hope there are very tangible proposals that they'll be tabling before Parliament to also give some confidence that they understand the task that is ahead of them. They have the campaign financing legislation that needs implementation and review. Then comes the heavier question of voter registration, that there's a lot of apprehension around it in terms of which votes in which areas post the last consensus that was done. And then we have civic education that I think IBC has largely abdicated on, and which will play a very huge role in terms of ensuring that we have more voters and who understand their rights in this new period. So I think those are part and parcel of the challenges that they have in store for themselves.
Right. So all elections that we've had in the country since the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution, that would be since 2013, have actually been decided by the Supreme Court. There have been 3 judgments, 2013, 17, and 22. Are there issues that you think stand out that maybe this electoral management body now needs to look at to ensure that perhaps we avoid a scenario like that? I mean, of course, the Supreme Court is there to handle that dispute, should there be one. But it would seem that all of these elections are being decided by the Supreme Court. Are there any issues that have arisen from each of those Supreme Court decisions that could be some pitfalls for this new commission to look out for?
Let me first give an overview in terms of from 2013. 2013, we had sharp disputes which led to the, I believe, Kiraitu Orengo leading the reforms, later tabled just before the following elections. Then we had 2017 elections that were nullified, brought a great rift in terms of confidence in the role of the IEBC. And even after the elections that took after, there was not much confidence in terms of that particular process because one party decided not to get involved. 2022, we saw a lot of recommendations by the Supreme Court because we had an IEBC commission that was sharply divided, one announcing in Bomas, one going to announce in Serena. And looking at terms of corporate governance, the role of the chairperson, the role of the vice chairperson, and even if the choice of the vice chairperson has already been greatly criticized, taking into consideration that there was already an advocate who meets the same criteria in terms of being able to deputize in event that the IBC chair, something happens to him. There are proposals on a lot of amendments that needs to be done under the Electoral Act, and also in terms of IBC and the Supreme Court raising concerns about the time periods for hearing and determining the electoral disputes, which has yet to be dealt with to date. And I remember they continue to raise that concern, just looking at the apprehension that the people want to actually have tangible decision that they can feel satisfied that the neutral arbiter has actually looked at the concerns as a nation that we have. I would say that maybe the constraints that IEBC's commission is going to have is that they have a short time period. Someone can say 2 years, but 2 years is a very short period to just set up the whole machinery rolling. Looking at the various amendments they have to take into consideration under the law. But within that time period, I think it also behoves upon the judiciary, parliament, executive, the independent offices and security agencies to also, stand up and show up in terms of being able to support. We need parliament giving them the adequate budget, because the time constraints already short. I don't know if that was budgeted already in this year's budget, or it will be part of
a
supplementary budget.
Yeah.
But those should be top of priorities, and in terms of us seeing Parliament actually engaging in proper discourse in terms of the proposed amendments. We're seeing a lot of more proposals to the Constitution, rather than looking at how can we ensure that we deliver a credible electoral process to the people of Kenya.
Okay, I have some questions for you from our viewers, so let's get to that. The first one here is, can the ICC court, that's at The Hague, be used to tame rogue leadership in Kenya?
Well, the ICC loaded question. Well,
we've been there before.
We've been there before,
right.
And so the kind of credible evidence that can be collected in terms of those who are inciting for violence against individuals and the kind of deaths and killings that have been orchestrated. And if we're able to meet the threshold, then of course the history of this country, ICC still sends chilling reminder to not only those in the National Police Service, but to our politicians as well.
Here's another one. Because of the prevailing circumstances in the country, what threshold is needed to impeach a president?
Well, I think you saw what happened in the deputy president's impeachment process. And the heavy question is, will you have members of parliament, I always say, that will be able to impeach that same president? Because these are the same members of parliament that a lot of our young members have been saying they want to recall. So in terms of being able to get the numbers, I don't know if they'll be able to collate those numbers to be able to surmount a vote for the president's impeachment.
What are your thoughts around this National Assembly?
National Assembly?
Yes, Parliament in the way they've conducted themselves. I mean, you've talked about perhaps, the possibility of numbers not being raised.
Yeah.
But as a lawmaking body, there have been lots of questions about how they have conducted themselves. What's your assessment as the president of the Law Society of Kenya?
I feel that in terms of where we've gotten as a country, Parliament plays an important role in terms of the people's representative. And for a situation to get to the extent that we're having people attacking their own parliamentarians, and that there's no connection in terms of them being able to play that representative role in terms of listening to what the electorate are demanding for. When we have members of parliament coming to say that that bill was too big, even I couldn't read it, it was like the Bible, even you can't read the Bible. And, members of parliament, after passing legislation, later on coming and saying these laws are draconian, who passed them? Yeah. Yet they're the same parliamentarians who sat, reviewed those laws and passed those laws. I would say it's unfortunate that then they're not playing their representative role as should be. Because I say by the time a country is getting to a level that citizens are more active on a personal capacity, while it's good for democracy, but it shows that there's a disconnect between their representative and them, because it shouldn't get to a situation where a country is going to a standstill and even the executive cannot communicate to its people because Parliament has lacks that legitimacy to be able to connect directly to its people. So in terms of the scorecard, as whether they're playing their representative role or not, I would say that they have failed in that endeavor.
Let's take a look at some more questions coming in now. And this is on the X platform. We'll put them up on your screen in just a moment. There we are. All right, so here we are. Edward Apedu, who says, a Ugandan-Kenyan admitted advocate was recently deported for representing his client the Kenya Human Rights Commission. What's the Law Society of Kenya doing to reverse that illegality?
Well, he's actually an advocate admitted the Law Society of Kenya as well. So he was actually an employee. And so we are working hand in hand with the NGO with regards to measures to ensure that he's returned back to the country, because we don't see what problem. The Law Society has not raised any concern against him as an individual, because he's not violated any rules of the Law Society of Kenya. And so we are supporting in terms of the work that the Kenya Human Rights Commission is doing.
Okay, let's take another one here now. There we are. Ask Faith, on the same note of having rule of law applied on both sides, that's government and opposition, why is she always doing demos siding with protesters and goons while sidelining business people who lose millions of shillings in property? That's Kiprich Soprano.
Well, first of all, I want to affirm that the Law Society condemned destruction of property. And our position always remains that we stand with protesters as long as they continue to uphold the rule of law and engage in peaceful protests. What we've seen in the coming weeks is more of anarchy developing. And the reality is it's hard to siphon who is a protester and who is a goon. And we have condemned the use of goons. And that's why we continue to ask, why haven't we seen goons being picked out? Goons being arrested. We've seen their photos circulating. Some have even been identified. Some have done videos saying they are sorry. And yet none of them have been picked up. None of them have been prosecuted. And so we have condemned the same. And we also want to raise the concern that in terms of those businesses that have been affected, the Law Society greatly sympathizes. And if there's any support we can offer in terms of legal representation, we'll be able to offer the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next question now is, here we are. Why does Madam President seem to rush to conclusion before confirming facts? Take the Ndiangui Kinyagia saga. The LSK appeared to blame the government for an alleged abduction, only for it to emerge he went into hiding. They had to recuse themselves from the case.
Well, the Law Society has filed several habeas corpus cases, and if history will show you, during our entire tenure, we have saved a lot of lives because of the cases filed by the Law Society of Kenya. And what we normally do, which is standard, is that of course, we cannot reach the victim. And so we ask for the family, because we had gotten several calls seeking for LSK's help. And we normally ensure that the family must come to the Law Society, do statements confirming what happened, and then they share with us information. That's when we file for habeas corpus application. And it's normally at the strength of the family members also confirming that they have reported as well to the police, no assistance has been given unto them, is when we can be able to file this matter. So LSK always engages in good faith, which we did, and we filed this matter in court. And even our constant discussions with the family, even to the date that Ndiangui appeared in court, we were still aware that his whereabouts were unknown. And this is not the first time that on the day that the heads of police have been summoned in court, that they magically reappear and they magically are released somewhere. And so for us, we didn't see any issue, because these have happened in several of the cases we've handled. Because even if you take case in hand, the Kitengela 3, in fact, that was one of the cases that I was most shocked, because over a month, they were finally released. And even the Wajir case that we took up after the family came to see the Law Society of Kenya, the courts it took us so long to even get court orders. But later on, when he was released, the MCA recounted the horrifying events that he went through while he was under custody. So LSK does not jump into conclusions. LSK takes evidence and collects statements based on what the family members have shown us, their efforts to try to look for him, and where they've reported all the people they've tried to reach, and they affirm to us that there's no other conclusion. And further, as well, the DCA had raided Mr. Ndiangui's home And there was evidence of even the neighbors who attested to the same, the caretaker who attested to the same. And so the Law Society acted in good faith and tabled, and that's why we went to court. So when supervening evidence came after that, he says that he was, but though he says he's going to testify, so I do not want to preempt what he's going to say. But the Law Society decided to allow him to represent himself. So not that we have yet withdrawn, but we allowed him to represent himself so he can best proffer, now that he has advocates on record who are also representing his family, that can be able now to take over so that he can proffer his case best as an individual. But as officers of the court, the moment we get any information that we think is beneficial, because for us, at the end of the day, is to uphold the rule of law. So if whenever the police are right, the Law Society will say the police are right. Yeah.
Okay. Next one. Here we are with Judy. Says, what's Madam Faith Odhiambo's response to CS Murkomen accusation of her siding with criminals and terrorists? I think you've already addressed this issue. So let's move on to the next one. Eli Otieno from Kisumu says, is asking your opinion on the proposed conclave. The proposer did not clarify critical matters like the venue, conclave members, selection criteria, convener, funding, etc. So there's been proposals such as that, an intergenerational national conclave. There's many other people who are asking for dialogue in one form or another. What are your thoughts on this as a way out of the impasse we find ourselves in?
I look at it a bit differently. I'm thinking 15 years post our Constitution 2010, we need to have a constitutional moment of reflection. And it should not be born on us trying to have just a temporary ceasefire, but a reflection of the country that when we developed this constitution, it was based on certain constructs that were there and certain contexts that we're trying to deal with. We now have a different set of generation that want to use technology, that are more tech savvy, that feel frustrated with the processes that are there. If you want to remove somebody from office, there's a process in which you must follow, if it's collecting signatures, if it's tabling, if it's petitioning. They don't feel satisfied with the kind of proposals and procedures that have been set by the Constitution. I think it's time to think, how can we accommodate our Gen Zs and our youth in this process, that we actually have a moment where we're looking at where are we as a country post 15 years. There have been proposals on so many things in terms of where our constitution needs to reflect. Are we looking at expanding our counties or reducing the counties as is that we can't afford them anymore? Are we talking about, how can we ensure that we place and ensure the youth actually have a seat at the table rather than others representing their interests, saying that they're representing the youth? And so I think we need to look at having a constitutional moment and reflecting as a nation, what are the benefits that the Constitution, have we been able to deliver what we had in mind? How far have we gone into implementing the Constitution? And then coming back and seeing, now we have new constructs. Are we able to accommodate the current youth in this Constitution? Or is there a time for change to implement and improve so that we have a generation that feels part and parcel of this very social contract that governs the nation?
So you're talking of an audit of the Constitution and its implementation so far since 2010?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And talks are often, they cost money, and somehow they find ways to anchor it in law, right? So they pass a piece of legislation that then gives life to these talks. Talking or not, would an audit be part of the talking process?
I think audit needs to be done first.
Yeah.
Then as we do the audit, you see, the youth need platforms that they'll be able to have those discourses. And the beauty of the kind of youth generation we have is that they don't need physical meetings to be able to pay for a venue and what. Yeah. They're able to have discourses on different spaces and be able to share their views and come together. Yeah. But the fact is there needs to be support of those platforms that they can actually engage, because they feel safer in spaces where people cannot see them, cannot attack them, and they're able to express themselves more. Because even if you meet some of them, they'd say they always now try to be careful. What can I put online? What can't I say? But there's so much that I want to express. There's so much that I want to do. But I feel confined that the spaces are not adequate to be able to connect and be able to collect the information that they'd want to share. And so I think having that audit and looking at also concerns that the youth are having at that level, you can do it without spending so much, at least for that generation, and asking yourself, does also the Constitution support the technological-based avenues for them to be able to be engaged in this same Constitution? So I think even as whatever political constructs want to go on, I think my position as Law Society Chair and looking at the rule of law is to look at how are we auditing. We're seeing pieces of attempts to change the Constitution, yet we haven't even done an audit to say, is this working for us? You know, just before the last election, we were seeing arguments that the position of women rep ought to be scrapped. Now we're seeing arguments that we need to add more money and adding money to, you know, senators, adding money for members of public, and now MCAs also saying they need funds. You see, we need to have an audit to see, is it working for us? Is it sustainable? So that we actually support the services that impact on members of the public and that people are actually agitating. If you look at some of the Gen Z demands that were there last year, vis-a-vis auditing our Constitution, those are the moments that we need to have as a nation and actually say, is it working? Is it not working? What is working? Let's keep it. What is not working? Let's change it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'd like us to go through a set of comments now as we conclude our time with you here. Peaceful picketing is guaranteed in our Constitution. What we're witnessing is a deteriorating democratic space in our country. Kenya is now a police state. We have freedom of movement and expression. Opposition leaders shouldn't be restricted. Another one from Jay Letangule says, Wakili Faith Odhiambo was truly the best pick for LSK president, well-grounded in law and passionate about upholding the rule of law and constitutionalism, an ardent and advocate of full implementation of Katiba, especially the Bill of Rights. And then Mark Makuda says, special thanks to the LSK and its leadership for advocating for the rule of law and ensuring that abducted individuals are produced in court, either dead or alive. Last one from Babu Michael. I really thank the LSK and especially the President for being the voice for the voiceless when it comes to matters human rights violations as seen in recent events. She has personally and through LSK appeared in court. Kudos. All right, so that's our time here. About a minute or two for some closing thoughts from you on the way forward, because the country really is in some sort of crisis impasse. Your thoughts on where we go from here?
My thoughts are, my concerns is the growing intolerance, not only from government, but also in opposition in terms of us being able to discuss without radicalizing our youth and the tribal rhetoric that we continue to see and calls for, violation of the Constitution. We see members of parliament who call for, tribalism, those who are calling for violation of the Constitution, some talking about rigging elections, and no action is taken upon them. We've seen situations where constitutional bodies are being defunded for purposes of fighting and upholding the rule of law. I think it behoves upon us as a country that we have a rethink. It's a constitution. Whenever there's a crisis, we need to have a constitutional moment to rethink, reset, and rework as a country. Having a peaceful nation is imperative for all actors, not only those in government, but also those in opposition, because you can only thrive and be able to talk to people, be able to convince people about your agenda, if there are actually people to sit and listen to that agenda. And so in terms of the rule of law, I think we need to see more of judicial bravery or courage, so to speak. We need to see a bit more of restraint in terms of those in government and also in opposition, in terms of thinking what is in the best interest of our nation, what is in the best interest of our country. And I would say that for those who hold positions of power, power is transient. And today the law, weaponizing the law may work for you, but tomorrow that same law is going to be weaponized against you. And so it's up to us and up to everyone that we fight to uphold the rule of law. And in terms of where do we go from here, we need to, have that moment as a country and as a nation that we must have a rethink, because 2 years to the election, and I think we are more polarized than I think Uganda and Tanzania that have a closer election date than we do. So to avoid us going down the drain to the 2008 post-election violence, there needs to be a total reworking in terms of how do we approach and deal with matters, in terms of defense of media and them being able to air the truth to the members of the public, because credibility is quite important. And I think the greatest currency our executive is facing, and also National Police Services, lack of credibility and public confidence. And so to restore that, there has to be they have to de-escalate the situations that we're seeing in the country.
Thank you very much for your time this evening on The Explainer. That's been our conversation with Faith Odhiambo, who is the president of the Law Society of Kenya, on the state of law and order in the country, where we go from here, and what are the most important priorities to get the country back on track. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments on The Explainer tonight. I will see you again on Thursday. Have a good evening, everyone.
For the glass bottle with a golden crown. Check in nyuma ya pekele for a 6-digit code or a labeled plastic bottle, kisha bonyeza *459 *3#. Kunywa airtime na Pepsi. Terms and conditions apply.
Friday, 10 p.m.
Unajua ni kudunda kudojo. Piga statue. Salam kwa.
Akufa juu, kila mtu hapa ndani kufa juu.
E for the energy. E for the vibe. Say E for the energy. Unaweza niita media messiah Sombor.
Coast Africa's mega hype man, good man.
10/10 every Friday from 10 p.m. 10/10, connected by...
When they started building, they had questions. Who could they trust? Would the materials arrive on time? Would the roof last even? Then came Kidani Mabati. Strong, stylish, always on time. With a team that treats your home like their own, with Kidani, it's more than roofing. It's peace of mind. It's family. It's the Kidani promise. Order today and join our family. Call us on 0709 118 300 and let's build something great together.
day dawns. And with it come new opportunities. And behind it all is the bold, strong start you need with the rich, smooth taste of Nescafe Creamy White. Made with hand-selected coffee beans, perfectly balanced with creamer and sugar. This is a cup of Kujituma.
Are you ready to shape your child's future? ACK St. Mark's Church Westlands invites you to the International Education Career and Mentorship Fair on 1st and 2nd August from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at ACK St. Mark's Church Westlands and Westlands Primary School grounds. With over 4,000 students expected to attend from across the country, this event will offer mentorship, career guidance, and educational opportunities both locally and abroad. Call us on 0727 582 688 or email at stmarkseducationfair@gmail.com.
Captain, watermelon, punchball. Yes, please. Captain, pineapple sizzle. Big vibes, banner. Hold up. Tulia. Did he just dip that wing into his captain in cola? Sheesh, love it. However you spice on.
Kaka, usiogope sasa. Unapimwa.
Katika maisha, baadhi ya mambo si mchezo. TB ina tiba. Kupima na matibabu ni bila malipo. Katika hospitali zote za umma, usiruhusu hofu ikuzuie. Angamiza TB. Sote pamoja, sote salama.
Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na Wizara ya Afya na washirika wake.
Ukitaka kupata sikiza kodi ya mkono wa Bwana, tafadhali bonyeza *811*404#. Kumbuka Citizen TV ni nyumbani kwa wasanii wote.
Walisema make something special. Me, I know a thing or two about special. That one extra touch that makes everyone at the table go wow.
We, mama, ina imeweza.
For meals with friends and family, make it memorable with Kiko Man.
Mwezi huu wa Agosti, kitu cha kipekee kinakuja Kitengela. Kuanzia Ijumaa tarehe 1 hadi Jumapili tarehe 3 Agosti, saa 9 alasiri, fika katika uwanja wa Kitengela kwa ajili ya tamasha la Urafiki pamoja na Dr. Peter Youngren. Kiingilio ni bure bilashi na watu wa dini zote mmekaribishwa. Usikose tamasha la Urafiki.
Kupika ni sherehe daily, lazima niweke kwa mchuzi mix kwa githeri. Ongeza kalada na karoiko kwa spinach, 10/10 hela flavor kwa kasupu. Nikiongeza roiko wataseva hiyo kuku, flavor kwa omena zile zote unazopenda. Flavor wanga ajab kwa una boil maharagwe. Roiko mchuzi mix unafry pia kwa chipu. Pika kama roiko mchuzi mix, pika kama roiko mchuzi mix, pika kama roiko mchuzi mix.
Secure your future with a holistic plan of insurance, investments, trusts, and pensions to build lasting wealth and peace of mind.
that ensures my child's education, so he can become a future CEO.
Hey, Dad.
ICEA Lion has a plan for everyone. ICEA Lion, what's your plan?
Afya ni kigezo muhimu katika maisha.
Usafi, mazoezi kawaida.
Afya bora ikichangia maisha bora kwa kiwango kikubwa. Na kwa kuwa afya ni muhimu kwako na wewe ni muhimu kwetu, sasa tumejipanga kuangazia masuala mbalimbali yanayofungamana na afya yako.
Mtu akiwa na kilo mingi inaweza kuletea magonjwa mengi.
Pia tutajibu maswali yako moja kwa moja, huku tukizungumzia dhana zinazohusishwa na maradhi mbalimbali.
Yote hayo ni kwenye jukwaa la afya na Mwanahamisi Hamadi, kila Jumatano ndani ya Sema na Citizen.
Now, how can I be sure you won't snitch and run to the police?
Oh, come on. I'm not gonna snitch on you.
I'm not taking any chances. You're staying with us.
No. I already did what you asked me to do. I did my part. Keep your money. We're parting ways. We're done with you both. Haven't you realized it yet? We're in the same situation. I know where you're hiding now, and I could turn you into the police, you know. If you ever open your mouth and blab, you're going back to that hole with the rest of us.
Nobody threatens me and gets away with it.
Hey, back off, you two. Calm down. There's no need to exchange threats. Come on now. Lisette did what you asked her to do. You have the money now. So back off and let us leave.
All right. You haven't seen me around, and you haven't heard from me. You get it?
I'll only keep quiet if you do the same thing.
We're even then.
All right then. Since it looks like we're all in agreement, we're leaving. It was a pleasure meeting you all. Glad that's over and done with. Make yourselves at home. Excuse us.
You saved us, Eric. You got there just in the nick of time.
I just couldn't sit still and wait for you. So many bad things could have happened.
Have I ever told you that you're my hero?
No.
Well, now you know, Eric. I really don't know how to thank you for everything you've done for me since I broke out of prison.
I know how. Give me a kiss.
Only a quick one. We have to keep going.
I love the smell. Hey, go out and buy us some roasted chicken. We work so hard that I'm starving. Go on, hurry up. There we go. This is the only amount that we're going to divide up between us.
What's going on? Everyone's acting weird.
Nothing. What could possibly be going on?
Hey, do you like football? Yes, very much. Oh, me too. So, who's your favorite player? Messi. He's the best player in the world. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, there's going to be a Champions League match today, right? There is. You want to watch it? Yes, I do. Can we go watch now?
Yeah, sure. It's no problem. Take him.
Let's go then.
What happened? One at a time. Chill out, okay? We're going to tell you what happened.
We were so worried about you, Lisette. Are you okay?
Yes. We can rest easy now. Erendira isn't going to turn us into the police.
Oh, thank you. You're the greatest, Lisette.
Goodness, you're all right.
That looks like the surgeon.
Lisette, could the people you stole from recognize your faces?
No, they can't. Erendira and I wore ski masks, don't worry. By the way, the evil woman offered me a share of the loot, but I told her to keep all of it.
That's for the best. That way Erendira won't think you're into easy money and try to contact you again.
Yes, she knows that she can't call me whenever she wants.
Well, we'll see if Erendira keeps her side of the deal and doesn't show up here again. I have my doubts, you know.
Stop tempting fate!
All right, I know. I should shut up. Oh.
You got any news?
We do, boss. You have clients waiting for you.
Hello there. You see, man, I'm looking for the surgeon.
Who's looking for her?
Fernanda Orozco.
Wait right here. I'll go in and tell her. The missing.
Fugitives seeking.
Zenka has been funding dreams for over 10 million Kenyans. Visit Play Store or App Store, download the Zenka app and borrow up to 200,000 Kenya shillings. Zenka, smart loans for smart people.
We know times are tough, so save money by buying airtime from M-Pesa to any network with zero transaction fees. Dial *487*2# and get your airtime PAP with zero transaction costs.
Captain, watermelon, punchbowl. Yes, please. Captain, pineapple sizzle. Big vibes, banana. Hold up. Tulia. Did he just dip that wing into his captain in cola? Sheesh, love it. However you spice on.
Ni Mungu tu. Mungu amefanya, ni Mungu. Ni Mungu. Ni Mungu ametenda, ni Mungu. Sina cha kujivuna. Ni Mungu amefanya.
kupata wimbo huu kama sikiza tuni yako, bonyeza *860*415#. Kumbuka, Sikiza na Citizen ni nyumbani kwa wasanii wote.
The Mairura Family Foundation will be hosting a special medical camp at the Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital and the Nyanchwa Adventist Mission Hospital from the 3rd to the 7th of August this year. A team of leading experts from the US, including orthopedic surgeons, hand surgeons, spine specialists, and more, will be on site offering free hip and knee replacements, spinal injections, and fracture care. Don't miss this opportunity for specialized care from a dedicated team right here in Kisii. To register in advance and for inquiries, call these numbers. The free Kisii Medical Camp is brought to you by the Mairura Family Foundation and proudly supported by Royal Media Services. Be there.
Seeking justice. Ismael calling.
Ismael?
Hello, how are you? I was very worried, you know. You seemed pretty distressed about Juan Pablo last night.
I'm much better now, thank you. I can only imagine just how much it must have hurt you to have lost your best friend.
That's precisely why I wanted to suggest that we meet to talk about him.
Good idea. We were the ones who loved Juan Pablo the most.
Then shall we meet up for coffee after work?
Sounds good to me.
We could meet at the Don Javi Cafe. It's not very far from where you are. What do you say?
Sure, sounds good. See you there.
I'll see you in a bit.
Man, what the heck took you so long to get back? Did you have to go kill the chicken or something?
It took me a while because when I was coming back, I saw the surgeon and Aida Alvarez on the streets.
What? They stole my share when we robbed the jewelry store.
Well, I already know where they are.
They're going to pay dearly for betraying me.
Well, if you want, I can talk to Coyote and ask her group to rough them up.
A beating isn't going to be good enough. I want them to go back to prison and rot in it. And Melania will make life so difficult for them in there. Those two are going to thoroughly regret betraying me.
Thank you very much, Miss Martha. I haven't eaten anything since yesterday.
Oh, me neither. I wasn't even hungry because I was so anxious.
Is the match over?
No, but I have to head back to work now.
Then I'll walk you to the door.
All right. Let's keep in touch, okay? Thank you. Well, see you later.
Goodbye.
Why didn't you two have lunch with us?
Oh, that's because I went out with Eric to run some errands, Matias, and we ended up late.
Everyone here is acting strange. Do you know why?
No, I have no idea.
Do you want dessert?
Yes.
Oh, that's
I'll
good.
help you.
Please,
I'll help
and
you
thank
too.
you. Get some saucers and cutlery, please.
I am very grateful that you took Matias away when Eric and Lisette came back.
Lorena told me that you didn't want him to know anything about what was going on.
Yeah, that's right. So thank you. I really don't want what Erendira did to go unpunished. Is there any way to report her to the authorities?
We could make an anonymous call to them. But if they do catch Erendira and Pirana, we run the risk of them saying that Lisette was their accomplice. And then not only would they catch them, but also everyone who lives in this house.
I understand.
I'm sorry, but we'd better leave it at that.
Thank you for everything.
All right. I'm going to start working on the new leads that we've discovered.
Thank you for everything. I don't want to be away from you.
Yeah, me neither.
Nothing makes me happier than being back here with all you ladies. I thought that I wasn't ever going to see you all again.
Don't even say that. We're together now.
There have been so many problems coming at us lately, but we're really lucky and everything has turned out all right.
We must have a super guardian angel watching over us to be so lucky.
Yes.
Hey, boss. Say when.
Well, we're ready.
Now let's do this. We got one more night of...
Success at the Oasis!
Hello.
Hello. What would you like to drink?
A cappuccino.
Okay. 1 cappuccino, please.
Oh, coming up, sir.
Can I tell you something? I'm not at all happy about how you treat Florencia.
Forgive me, Veronica, but I don't want to touch that subject. I do understand that you are her best friend, but we are not here to talk about her, but Juan Pablo.
All right, then. But I hope you and Florencia can straighten out your differences now that you two are going to be parents. So when did you become friends with Juan Pablo?
Here's your order, ma'am.
Since we were very young, we were playing for the same football team, you see. And then a few years later, he and I met again when we entered law school. He was a witty guy and very funny.
Yes, he made me laugh a lot. He had a good sense of humor.
Yeah, dark humor.
Oh,
but it is humor. The life of every party he went to, whenever he walked in a place, he transformed it. You know what? We once had a meeting with an unbelievable number of lawyers, and he got there late as usual. It was about 35 degrees. Eric, we ran out of Coca-Cola. Can you go to the storeroom and bring a box, please?
Yeah, right away, boss.
Hey, what's up, bro? Nice to see you.
Whoa, what are you doing here? You've got no business being here.
What's the matter, handsome? Aren't you happy to see us?
Don't get cute with me. Please go away. I don't want to have to escort you out.
Don't get all mad, kid. We're going to have a couple of beers and talk, and you'll have to put up with it.
We agreed that you were going to leave us alone.
And I'll do that. I'm a woman of my word, don't doubt it. I came to talk with Mother Superior, not you.
What do you want to talk to her about?
That's none of your business. Tell her I'm here. Go.
What are you doing here?
Do me a favor and tell Mother Superior I want to talk to her.
I already told you she's not
Don't
here.
Don't lie to my face, okay, girl? Either you go tell her I'm here to talk or I'll make a scene. And you know I'm great at doing that. Do as I say, go! Hey, waitress! Get me a couple of beers, all right? Make it quick.
Mother Superior!
What?
You have to go downstairs. Erendira is here.
What?
She says she wants to talk to you.
Oh, this can't be happening. Let's go. That colored wig looks great on you, huh?
The two of you are not welcome here, so you can make your way out the door right now. Get out.
But why would I listen to you? This bar is a public space. I can come here whenever I want to.
Enough with your games. What do you want from me?
Oh, all right, okay, let's get down to business. I want you to do me a small favor.
I'm not here to do you any favors. Is your word worthless? You agreed to leave us alone.
I agreed to leave Lisette and the others alone, but not you. What's with that look? I'm going to ask for a simple favor. Sometime after we escaped, I went and robbed a jewelry store with a surgeon and Aide Alvarez, remember?
Yes, of course, I remember them.
Those backstabbing liars betrayed me and kept the loot for themselves. You know anyone who betrays me pays for it.
What in the world do you want me to do? To give them what they deserve?
Yes, but it's not what you might be thinking. We know where they're holed up and I want you to make a call and report them to the police.
And why me?
Because you're the only one who's not a fugitive.
You're going to have to find someone else to do your little favor, because I'm not going to do it. There are so many people out there who can turn them in to the police.
You see that woman talking to your mother? That's Erendira.
Why is she here?
I really have no idea. No, wait, don't even think about confronting her. I'm begging you. It's better if you stay away. Your mom doesn't want you to be associated with her.
It seems like you still don't understand. I'm not really asking for a favor. I'm ordering you.
You don't have authority to give me orders, so you can go do whatever you want. And don't even think about threatening me or reporting the girls under my protection, because Lisette and Eric know exactly where to find you. So if you are to turn them in, you'll go back to prison with them. You may now make your way out, and don't you ever show your faces here again.
Fine.
Fugitives seeking justice.
Siku njema huonekana asubuhi.
Kabisa Anuari. Amangana gao. Seti him.
Chamige.
We museo.
Kenya nzima tunasema jambo Kenya.
Wax.
Tiki Taka. Twende sana my people.
Hapa ndo nyumbani kwa muziki wa Afrika Mashariki na malezi ya vipaji.
Sasa tuko tayari ku drive on.
Mibibi na mijize. Leteni porojo sasa.
Kwa habari za kuaminika kutoka kila pembe ya nchi.
Are you ready?
Leo kati ya Ingwe na Gor Serikali.
Hapa ndio home. Wawa. Radio Citizen. Radio number 1.
Radio number 1.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Every morning, experience the goodness of the Lord through inspiring praise and worship music, lifting our spirits to a deeper connection with God. Pambazuka. Every Monday to Friday from 5 a.m.
Fugitives seeking justice.
Do you know why Juan Pablo was fighting with Arturo before he died?
I have no idea. That's why I asked him. But you saw how he didn't want to say anything. I don't even know why, but I think it must have been something very serious.
And when exactly did you notice that they started to have conflicts?
It started after Juan Pablo returned from Buenos Aires. I don't know what he found out, but he said he was going to get revenge for what Arturo did to him.
Buenos Aires? Wait, Consuelo lives there. Vicente and Florencia's mother.
Yes.
She must have told him something that angered him, right?
That's what I want to know too, but Juan Pablo never told me anything about what happened to him.
You know he was quite reserved about certain things.
Yes, I do, but why would he hold back with me? I was his girlfriend. Imagine how I felt when I found out that he was going to therapy because a lady approached me at his own funeral. Her name was Lilia Cancino. She offered me her condolences and told me she was his therapist. Don't you see? He was going to therapy and I didn't know. He not only distanced himself from Arturo, but from me as well.
Mother Superior? Hey, Mother Superior, are you sleeping? No. What is it?
We wanted to know what Erendira wanted.
She wanted me to report the location of the surgeon and I did to the police. And who are those people?
Those two were inmates who were in prison with us. But I don't understand why she wants to turn them in. They were part of the same gang.
Well, they betrayed Erendira and she wants revenge.
What did you tell her?
That she couldn't count on me. We're going to have to put a stop to that woman. Otherwise, she's going to keep bothering us until we give in. But what if she turns us in? I highly doubt she will. I told her we would drag her down with us.
That's my Mother Superior.
There was no other way. Only then will she leave us alone.
Oasis Bar.
I'll walk you to school, dear, and from there I'll go to the market.
No, I'll go alone.
How come?
Because I'm older now. I don't like being walked to school. None of my friends' parents take them, Grandma.
I understand. I'll see you in the afternoon then.
Keep up with him. Hey, you're Marta's grandson, aren't you? Man, your grandma has told me so much about you, you know, kid? I am Mercedes, and this is my cousin,
And I'm Brenda.
Brenda.
So how are you doing, champ?
Sorry, but I'm late. I have to get to school now.
He's gotta go to school.
Right.
That's adorable.
Come on, let's go now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My mom just went to the market to buy some eggs, so you can all have some fruit in the meantime.
Well, thank you. I'll help you dice the
Thank you.
papaya.
How about we help out?
All right, I'll grab the plates, and you get the
Okay, let's set up
utensils.
the table.
Matias? What's the problem, son?
Hello, darling. Your son is so charming, you know.
Who is this?
Erendira. Come on. Your waitresses haven't told you about me, darling?
Put Matias on the phone.
No, I'm afraid he's busy. He can't come to the phone right now. I called you so you could talk to me, not him.
You better put him on the phone if you don't want me to call the police on you.
And what are you going to tell him? That 4 fugitives are working in your bar or what?
What do you want?
I want you to tell your mom to do what I asked her.
Well, why don't you—
Sorry, time's up, darling. Goodbye.
It was Erendira. She has Matias.
What does she want?
She told me to tell my mom to do as she said.
That horrible woman involving Matias.
Ismael calling.
What do you want from me?
We need to have a talk. Can we meet up?
You can forget it. After that stunt you pulled, I don't trust you.
I have information that may interest you.
Then just tell me. It's not necessary to meet in person.
Come on, Castillo, don't act like a child. I will admit that it was wrong of me to take your phone, but if we want to help Lorena, let's leave that matter in the past. I'll see you at the Latino Cafe in half an hour.
If you insist, I'll see you there.
Give me back my phone. I have to go. I'm going to be late for school.
Calm down, kiddo. Nothing's gonna happen to you if you miss school today. You're not leaving.
What's wrong with you? Give it back. It's mine.
Stop yelling at me, okay? Nobody yells at me. How about we go for a walk?
No, I'm not going anywhere with you. I don't know you.
Nothing's going to happen to you. Just don't be difficult because you don't want to see me when I'm angry.
You really don't want to see her angry, kiddo. Come on, walk.
Come on.
Quiero mucho, pero lo primero siempre será mi libertad, mi juego. Amo el peligro y enfrento mis miedos. La adrenalina que me enciende el fuego. Te quiero mucho, pero no me muero. Fugitiva, no soy perfecta, no soy leyenda. Tampoco soy lo que la gente inventa. Lo que la gente inventa. Fugitiva, es mi natural, lo que perdura. Que se haga a un lado el que no lo entienda. El que no lo entienda. Fugitiva, dulce pero fuerte. Fugitiva, ante la gente. Fugitiva.
Transform your kitchen and home with a wide range of colorful, easy to clean and durable plasticware from Rock Industries. Rock Industries Plasticware, because your home deserves the best. Available in a supermarket near you.
Look out for the glass bottle with a golden crown. Check in nyuma ya pekele for a 6-digit code or a labeled plastic bottle. Kisha bonyeza *459 *3#. Kunywa airtime na Pepsi. Terms and conditions apply.
Guess what? Citizen Duca now delivers! Get amazing discount on your favorite essentials and have them brought straight to your doorstep, all for just 200 shillings delivery fee. Go to citizenduca.com, select the product you want, pay, and we'll handle the rest.
Citizen Duca, the home of discount.
Every Monday to Friday at 8 p.m.
Right here. My life turned upside down.
Antonio, I'm already here.
I was never the same woman after that night.
One woman holds the key to a past they all want to forget.
Dad, please give me back my son! 29 years ago, a miserable wretch ruined my reality. I'm begging you to please give me the strength to face the battle of my life.
Her courage will be tested.
Why did you leave my side if we loved each other so much?
Her truth unleashed.
Where did you take my son?
This is Aurora's Quest. Every Monday to Friday at 8 p.m.
Hadithi njo. Once upon a time in the 19th century in Vermont State in the United States of America, a very wealthy family transformed their estate home into a farm now known
from 6 to 7 p.m.
my God, I can't wait to see that look on Damien's face. Oh God, his wish finally came to pass. Yes!
Hello? Yes, I can hear you. What? Are you serious? Oh my God. Okay, hang on, I'll be home soon, very soon. Just stay put, I'm coming home soon. Wow, love you, baby. Wow.
Okay, doctor, we're dying of anxiety. Can you just put it out?
No need. The test result is out. You're pregnant.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, doctor.
But I have a situation on ground now. I have your wife's blood sample. I need your blood sample. Just want to run a little test.
Doctor, sorry, could it be? Isn't it too early to start having complications?
Okay, doctor, now you're making me scared. What could it possibly be?
Calm down. Okay. When I'm done with the test, then I'll get back to you.
So,